What's going on, guys? Welcome to the weekly live chat. I've been doing this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern since the beginning of time. This is the last, well, not the last one. This is the second to last live chat before we got UFC 280. So I'm really looking forward to next week. I'm going to try to get my predictions done this weekend, or at least most of them done. I already have 2 done for UFC 280. They're not uploaded yet. I may upload them tonight. I don't know when I'm going to release them. I'm going to upload them in the next 2 days and probably release them either this weekend or maybe even Friday. But I got a bunch of videos coming out, and then next week I'm going to try to be prepared where I can just stream a bunch next week, because in the lead up to UFC 280, I mean, the anticipation is what makes it so much fun. But we'll do a bunch of streams, hopefully, talking about UFC 280. Today I just put in the title, Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, Volkanovski Superfight. Talk about Volkanovski potentially stepping in and fighting Oliveira or Makhachev if one of them were to pull out. Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev, I also put in the title. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other news that, I'm forgetting off the top of my head. There's been some fight announcements recently that I probably don't even remember. I've been putting out a bunch of UFC 280 content already. I just remembered, I think I was supposed to put a link in my last video, but yeah, I put out my video grading UFC 280 is out on the channel. Released that yesterday. Make sure you guys go check that out if you haven't already. I released my Alexa Grasso versus Viviane Araújo prediction, which, I know it's not that exciting, but go check out that video. I've done a prediction for every main event since I started the channel. I didn't want to miss one. I really didn't want to do that video. I did it anyway. 11 minutes. I give you a full breakdown and prediction of that fight. I did a video talking about the backup, Volkanovski being the backup for UFC 280. I said cancel the fight. I'd rather them cancel the fight than have Volkanovski step in. I have a video talking about Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, and the list goes on. And I have an entire playlist on the channel just titled UFC 280. So if you guys want any UFC 280 content, go look on the main page of my channel and you can find it all. It's very easy to find. This is let me double check what this is. This is the 78th live chat we've done. It is October 12th, 2022. That is insane to me. That is insane to me. I cannot believe we're almost towards the end of the year, the end of 2022. It's looking really good. Us MMA fans have it really good the next month. I mean, we got UFC 280, which is going to be massive in terms of excitement, fun, anticipation. Also, it's going to be massive for the channel. We got UFC 281, which is also very incredible. It's an incredible fight card. I cannot wait to start pumping out predictions for that. We got UFC 282, which is kind of a little bit mysterious right now. And then next thing you know, boom, we're in 2023 and we're watching UFC Brazil. So, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to in the next few weeks. There's a lot of videos on the channel coming out very, very soon. Right now, I already have, let's see, which ones did I do? I remember, but I want to double check. I already have my prediction videos done, edited, rendered, everything for Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady and Islam Makhachev versus Malcolm Gordon. So I'm going to figure out how many exactly prediction videos I'm doing. I think I'm doing 7. So then I might release, I got to figure out what's kind of schedule I want to be on. Do I want to release 2 on Monday and make that the co-main and main event? Or how do I want to do it? So, but those will be coming very, very soon. Everything will be coming out in the next few days, which is crazy. I got like 4 days. But I wanted to get started early, so I did 2 of them last night. So I've been spending all my time in my office making videos. Before we get into any questions, do me a favor, guys. Like the stream. I greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. It takes 1 second. It's free. And also, if you are subscribed to the channel and you don't have notifications on, make sure you turn notifications on so you can get all those videos, boom, immediately come up on your phone the second I release them. And if you enjoy this community and you like talking MMA, there's a link down below. You can become a member of the channel. We have a members Discord with, I think at this point, 70 or 80 people in there now. So if you want to become a member, it's $3 a month. You can join the members Discord along with a bunch of other benefits. Link is down in the description. Takes a second. You get a loyalty badge next to your name for every month you're a member. You get a bunch of custom emojis to use in the chat and comments. You get extra live stream replays. And on top of that, you get the Discord, which that's what's worth it the most, honestly. So we have a great time. We're talking all the latest news in the Discord every single day. You can message me directly. We have a great time. Okay, let's get to some questions, and then we'll start talking about some of the topics I have in the title, because I kind of just throw these titles together, not knowing exactly what we're going to discuss, and then afterwards I just tweak them a little bit. But let's see what you guys are saying. What's up, CM? CM says, hi, cutie. What's going on, cutie? Have you seen Dober call out Paddy Pimblett? Yes, I have. Paddy Pimblett apparently said recently that nobody wants to fight him, which is absolutely laughable. Everybody wants to fight him. He's one of the biggest names right now, and he's the easiest fight, basically. There's very few guys towards the cusp of the top 15 in the lightweight division that I couldn't see beating Paddy Pimblett. Drew Dober wants it. Terrence McKinney wants it. Both would wreck him. Paddy Pimblett don't want that smoke. The UFC don't want that smoke for Paddy Pimblett. Drew Dober would mop the floor with Paddy Pimblett. Would mop the floor in every aspect. Paddy Pimblett would look like he needed to be cut from the UFC after fighting Drew Dober. And that's why I don't think that'll happen. But it's interesting. I hope he gets a big fight next. I hope he gets a big fight. What's he now? 3 fights into the UFC? He's 20, what is he, 29, going on 30, I think? Maybe 28. Book him against Drew Dober. It's not going to happen. You know, and I get it. You know, the UFC wants to grow him a little bit, and it's not to the point. It's not to the point where you're like, oh, you know, the UFC just keeps feeding him easy fights for 5-6 years. He's only been in the UFC for a small period of time. So it's not egregious for them to give him another layup. But don't go around saying nobody wants to fight you, Paddy, because Ilia Topuria wants to knock you out. Terrence McKinney's been calling you out. Drew Dober's been calling you out. Everybody wants that fight. What's up, Tommy? What's up, JJ Smoke? JJ Smoke, shout out to you for the clips. You sent a clip in the members Discord of me calling something literally 2 months ago. So I appreciate you. Would you like to see Volk jump in for Dariush or Gamrot if someone could not make it? Absolutely not. I want Volk waiting for the winner of Oliveira versus Islam, regardless of what happens. If they have to reschedule Oliveira Islam, I want Volk waiting in the wings to fight the winner of that fight. Hey, Joey, I haven't slept in 36 hours. It's been rough. Your stream came at a perfect time. Your soothing voice may put me to sleep. I appreciate it. I hope it does. Get some sleep. That's not good. What's up, Niles? Assuming they don't drop out, what's next for Volk? I hope the winner of Oliveira versus Islam. But if not, it'll probably be, I feel like the UFC will do probably Volk versus Jair. But it may be Volk versus Emmett. Maybe on that Perth card, if I had to guess. Serious question. What is even the point of USADA? Seems to be just for show. Basically to operate under the ruse that they have a clean sport. That's basically it. Glad I get to listen to you to the stream on my 2-hour drive home from work. 2-hour drive home? What the hell? That sucks, man. But I'm glad you're listening, man. I appreciate you tuning in. What's up, homework? Derek, how was your week? My week was good. I hope your week was good as well. Good evening. Why was Khabib pressuring Charles? Charles was never going to show, and it was silly. Yeah, I think he was just talking shit. I don't know why, you know. And also the media, I've seen the media quite a bit kind of twist Khabib's words and make it look a lot worse than it is. What's up, Joey? Do you think Islam could end up dominating Charles on the ground? Most of the time, elite wrestling negates BJJ. I think it's very possible. I could see... I think whoever wins this fight, I think it's going to be a dominant win, to be quite honest. As excited as I am for this matchup, I either see Charles going out there and starching him on the feet and finding the submission, or... So he's going to starch him on the feet and finish him on the feet, or hurt him badly on the feet and submit him. Or it's going to be Islam taking him down repeatedly and beating him up and controlling him on the ground and winning via decision. So my thoughts are, regardless of who wins, I think it's probably going to be a dominant performance. But hopefully we get a very eventful first round and some scrambles, and Islam shoots in on a takedown after he gets hurt, and Oliveira starts to lock up a guillotine, but Islam fights out of it, then gets a single leg and takes him down, and then Oliveira's working off his back, and Islam is landing some ground and pound, then Charles gets back to his feet, and they go back to striking, and there's some clinch work. I'm hoping for all that. And maybe we'll get it in the first round, but I think the fight especially as the fight goes on, I think whoever is the better fighter will become very dominant. It's not going to be an absolute war, I would think. If Silva never lost to Weidman, who would you see him losing to? TRT, Vitor, Machida, Rockhold, or Romero? He would have lost to Rockhold and Romero, most likely. Ilya called out Paddy. Yep, I mentioned that. Joey the GOAT, appreciate you. If Dariush wins, who deserves the next shot between him and Volk? Unfortunately, Volk, just because of what he's done in the featherweight division, but I would feel bad for Dariush. I would feel very bad for Dariush because he would deserve it as well. So, if it was up to me, I'd just say Volk, just stay at 45 and keep clearing out the division a little bit. Okay. Paddy Pimblett's toughest fight will be diabetes if he carries on the way he's been. Maybe, I don't know. Christmas is in 10 days. Let's go. No, it's not. Ilya would fight Paddy at 155. I know. Ottman Azaitar was calling out exactly. Paddy don't want those fights, and neither does the UFC. It's not necessarily Paddy's fault, too. The UFC's not going to want those. Who has a better chance against Volk, Emmett, or Yair? I would say Yair just because of his power and his kicks and the unorthodoxness of his striking. It's just super flashy, and there's not a lot of telegraphing going on with Yair's kicking game. Sergey Pavlovich versus Tito Avasa. Who wins and how? Probably Pavlovich. He's a good striker. He's a decent technical striker. Ty just got finished not that long ago. He's coming back on short notice. He constantly gets hit. I'm going Pavlovich. You happy the card is early, or is it a bummer? It's a bummer. Thoughts on Yuri being tested 36 times so far this year? People are saying that Czech USADA employees just really likes him, and that's the excuse to keep meeting him. It is very weird. It's very weird that he's been tested a bunch. But USADA, I did a video on it. USADA is full of shit. I mean, they haven't tested Conor McGregor at all. At all. The entire month of entire year of 2022. And if you look back, I actually did an entire video on this. Let's see what the date was. I'm curious. Because this story recently came out. I made another video on it like 2 weeks ago. But I made a video on it on USADA being corrupt. Let's see. It was around when Costa fought. It was around 278, I believe. Yeah, so let's see. Where is it? I can't find it. When did I do this video? And why can't I find it is the real question. Oh, here it is. No, that's not it either. UFC adding more fights. Luke Rockhold prediction. Okay, here it is. I did a video on August 22nd. Does the UFC and Dana White manipulate USADA to protect star UFC fighters? So, go check out that video. I also have a video about Conor McGregor specifically. But yeah, there's a lot of shady shits that goes on with USADA. A lot of shady stuff that goes on there. But Yuri being tested 36 times, I'm happy that he is. But so should some other fighters as well. I'm getting annoyed with Islam and his team acting like Charles is scared they're going to pull out, similar to when Gaethje kept calling him a quitter. Yeah, this is the prequel to Islam getting finished brutally and eating his words. Yeah, Javier Mendez and Islam is the most well-rounded fighter he's seen. Who is the most well-rounded fighter in your opinion? Volkanovski. Volkanovski is super well-rounded. Mateus picked Islam against Charles. It's going to be very interesting. In your honest opinion, who could you see Justin Gaethje? Could you see Justin Gaethje being Conor's returning fight? I think it's doubtful. Just because I don't think Conor wants that. I don't think the UFC is going to want that for him in his return. But I think it's a possibility. And if Justin fights Conor, what's next for Rafael Fiziev? Probably maybe the winner of Beneil versus Gamrot would be interesting. Now my eyes itching for some reason, guys. If O'Malley loses to Jan, it's now time to make the rematch with Cheeto or wait a bit longer. No, if he loses to Jan, he doesn't deserve to fight Cheeto. So wait a bit longer. No, I did not hear that about Jordan Levitt. Do you think Conor can still win even juiced up? Probably not, honestly. I don't trust him with anything anymore, honestly, against anyone. At least depends who he's fighting. That's what it matters. Yan by KO. Okay, we'll talk about that. I already read that? Yan is getting old, so I don't know exactly. What's up, Ralph? Thank you for being a member. Yo, Joey with the fresh cut. Oh, yeah, I did get a haircut. What, over the weekend, I think it was? But thanks for noticing, Billy. Hey, Joey, hope you're doing well. I hope you are doing well as well. Who are your favorite fighters from each division who are not yet champs? Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. With the tough questions here. What was the question again? Who are not yet champs. What if that means they're former champs? I don't know. I'll pick people who haven't ever been champions, maybe. So I'll say Brandon Royval, Marlon Vera, Mavsar Evlev, Rafael Fiziev, Hamzat Chimaev, I don't know. I don't know about middle. I guess Kelvin Gastelum maybe. Jamal Hill. And I'll throw out, I don't know. I really don't know in heavyweight. Tom Aspinall maybe. There you go. There you go. I hope that answered your question. Does Islam versus Oliveira end in round 1? I'm thinking maybe. I'm not sure. I'm still kind of waffling back and forth on my prediction. But potentially. I think it potentially ends in round 1. Beneil versus Gamrot predictions. I'm still flipping back and forth on that. I'm leaning Gamrot. But I got to watch some fights and then I'll be doing my prediction video. Hopefully. I might even be recording that tonight, to be honest, if I have time. But Justin can also beat up his legs and just overwhelm him and finish him. I agree. What does Conor have a better chance against? Who does Conor have a better chance against at 170? Justin or Chandler? I feel like Chandler's a bit chinny and he goes for takedowns a lot. And I feel like Justin will just stand there. At 170, I'll say Chandler. I think Chandler probably. My brother and I just got tickets to UFC Orlando. Shout out to you. I hope you have a great time. It's going to be awesome. The card's looking pretty good. I hate the main event, but the card's looking good. Early prediction for OSP versus Gustafsson. I don't know. Gustafsson looked god-awful. I mean, Gustafsson looked atrocious versus Nikita Krylov. So I'm just going to go... I'm going to go with... I think OSP is awful. What? Probably OSP. But I hope Gustafsson pulls it off and then retires. Top 5 all-time, pound for pound, Khabib, Jones, GSP, Silva, and Mighty Mouse. Would you agree or take differently? It'd be something along those lines, man. It'd be something along. I've switched it up a million times. I'd probably throw Stipe in there somewhere. What are your thoughts on... What are some of the ways you can see Jeff Neal beating Shavkat? I don't know, just keeping the fight standing and good head movement, good footwork, and just landing that left hand repeatedly. But I just don't think it's super likely. And I have an entire video on that, Tyler, if you want to check it out. Joey, is UFC 284 going to be headlined by Alexander Volkanovski and who? I don't know. We'll see. Could be the lightweight title, honestly. Who wins, Askarov or Royval? That's a hard fight to pick. I love Royval, and he's super scrappy and super scrambly, and he's just, constantly worming his way out of positions. But Askarov has really good, solid grappling, so I'm probably going Askarov. I could even see him get a submission, maybe. But Royval is pretty tricky. Love Tai Tuivasa versus Sergey fight. Who do you got? I got Sergey. I wish it wasn't so soon. I mean, Tuivasa just got finished. When was that? In August? No, it was in September, right? Yo Romero versus Hamzat fantasy matchup predictions. 3 and 5 rounds. Also, one fantasy matchup you would love to watch. At this point, I'd probably take Hamzat in both. As crazy as that sounds, Yo Romero is very good. but he's getting old. He's kind of slow on the feet. He doesn't incorporate his wrestling enough. So I'd probably go Hamzat at this point. If Sean loses, he will take a 6-month break and call out Ricky Simon or Song Yudong. Now, he'll probably say he won and he didn't really lose. I'm going to talk so much shit after Islam wins. Fair enough. I know this is random, but just want to say you're a good dude and I appreciate you. Thank you, Magic. I appreciate you as well. Thank you for watching, my friend. I'm glad you've been enjoying. Joey, is Figgy Moreno 4 the biggest flyweight fight in the UFC? Probably, but I don't think it's going to be big in terms of sales, but I think it's a big fight for sure. If you care about the sport. What's next for Volkov? I don't know. I don't think he has a fight. Would you still put BJ Penn on the top 5 lightweight list? Probably, but I didn't watch his era as much. So it's hard for me to comment on it. Islam or Michael Chandler, I guess? I'd probably take Islam at this point. Who do you think are the top 3 heaviest hitters in the light heavyweight division? Jan Blachowicz, Jamal Hill, and Ryan Spann. There you go. Yo. What's going on, Joey? What are your thoughts on the PFL event in November? It's a decent event, but it's garbage that they're charging for it. Joey, is Brandon Moreno the biggest star in the flyweight division? Yes, unequivocally. What round does Oliveira win and how? I'm flipping back and forth. I'm thinking Oliveira round 1, to be quite honest. But I could also see it going into like 2 or 3 and Oliveira like picking up on the feet and landing good shots, and then Islam shooting on a sloppy takedown and getting guillotined in the 3rd. Something along those lines. Cannonier versus Costa, who wins? I think Costa wins. What's up, Joey? Hope everyone has liked the stream. Yeah, everybody go like the stream. We got like 50 people in here. We got 18 likes. If you want to support the channel, scroll down. It takes 1 second. Click the thumbs up button. It's corny as hell, but go do it anyway. It helps the channel. I'm trying to get to 10,000 before the end of the year. That's the goal. I don't know if it's possible, but I'm going to try my damnedest to get there. I'm going to pretend like it's life or death. That's why I've been making so many videos. And these aren't just bullshit videos. These are quality videos. So the least you can do is like the stream. I would appreciate it. Have you seen Strickland's Food Truck Diaries episode? He has no filter. No, I have not. What's next for Israel if he loses the title in a rematch? He'll probably rematch again. Who can you see Michael Chiesa coming back to? Who can I see Michael Chiesa coming back to? I don't know. Michael Chiesa's whole world's probably shook upside down after getting out grappled by Chiesa. Or getting out grappled by Brady. I wouldn't mind they book him versus Jorge Masvidal, but that's not going to happen. He already fought Vicente. Everyone else is booked. Michel Pereira. That's what I say. Book him against Michel Pereira. Also, got to hear your thoughts on Chael Sonnen versus Tito Ortiz in February. I know you're absolutely pumped for this fight. Yeah, I'm so pumped. I can't wait to make my prediction video. I thought about doing a reaction and an early prediction for that one. I can't wait. I mean, that's the most hyped I've ever been for a fight in my life. I can't wait. Nah, it's garbage. I can't believe there's any athletic commission willing to approve that fight. I mean, like, why are you sanctioning brain dead Chael Sonnen versus brain dead Tito Ortiz? What a money grab. Who's buying that? If they charge for that, I want to know who's buying it. If you buy Chael Sonnen versus Tito Ortiz in February, if that's a pay-per-view and you buy it, I have no problem with you being thrown in jail for life. Give you the electric chair, might as well. Chandler's a nightmare matchup for Islam. Islam would struggle to submit him and on the feet. I think Chandler would rock him. It'd be interesting, though, because Chandler's kind of chinny. And he doesn't use his wrestling. Not that I don't think he would be able to against Islam anyway. Is there any way you can see Islam retiring if he loses in embarrassing fashion? No. Charles Power saved him, to be honest, against Chandler. Okay. It's not corny. It's pretty important. Yeah, I know what you mean. Nah, Chandler would have gassed by the 3rd. Like the shit, you goons. You heard it. Will John Jones fight in the first quarter of 2023 and against who? Yes, and against Francis Ngannou. That's what my sources are telling me. Izzy versus Jamal Hill. Who wins? Jamal Hill. Oliveira almost gets finished in every fight. It's a fact. I know that is very true. Well, I think he would finish the fight in 1 or 2. What's the drama between Fernando Lopez and Ali Abdelaziz? Slim, I think his nickname's Slim, pulled from 280. Supposedly Fernando Lopez, well, not supposedly, it's been shown. Fernando Lopez had a contract with Trablossi, I think is how you pronounce the name, but they also call him Slim. And basically the contract states that he can get out of his contract if, he does a certain couple things. He fulfilled, he doesn't have a fight coming up, and also he's returned his belt or something like that. If he gets an opportunity to fight in the UFC. Well, apparently instead of doing what he was supposed to do and telling Fernando Lopez, Ali Abdelaziz just tried to poach him. And Ali Abdelaziz in Dominance MMA is known for that, poaching fighters from other management groups. And basically, the fighters stopped talking to Fernando Lopez, signed with Ali, and then Ali tried to take him to the UFC as his own fighter. And so Fernando Lopez, instead of, what he would normally do is let him out of his contract, now he's pissed because they did him dirty. So now he's tying them up in litigation because they did stuff that was basically like a breach of contract. And he's pissed, and he said it's for the principal. He said, I don't care if I tie up his entire career because they're trying to do me dirty. Jorge needs to fight Leon. Never going to happen. Masvidal versus Luque should happen. I agree. I would like that as well. Who fights first, Conor or Jones? Jones. You think UFC should have fed Aspen Ladd to Nunes at 145 before sending her to PFL? Yes, they should have. They should have. Joey, who wins prime GSP versus Usman? I think GSP takes it with his jab. I think he jabbed the face of Usman off. Usman wouldn't be able to grapple him, so there you go. Chiesa and Masvidal have fought before. They have, haven't they? Didn't they fight at lightweight? But let them fight again. It makes sense right now. If Jorge beats someone like Gilbert Burns, he'll get a title shot. If Leon defeats Usman in the trilogy, could very well happen. Joey, rate my middleweight matchmaking. Izzy Pereira, Whitaker Costa, Vittori Brunson, Cannonier Strickland, Till Dreykus, Kelvin Amivov, Manson Muniz, Curtis Nickel. You basically made all the fights. Most of the fights are already made. I think it's solid. I give it a B+. Already read that. I'll be buying Chael versus Tito fight for the entire state prison. Yeah. What's up, Josh? What do numbers mean? What do the numbers mean, Joey? What do the numbers mean? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Looking good, bro. Thank you. Let's say Usman beats Leon in the trilogy and then retires. Then Colby and Leon, or Colby and Hamzat for the belt. Who do you think gets it, Hamzat? I would favor Hamzat against anyone at this point in the welterweight division. I'm very high on Hamzat. It's just a matter of whether or not he can make weight. So, but yeah, guys, I'm super excited for Oliveira versus Makhachev. I literally can't even fathom waking up the day of Oliveira versus Makhachev. I mean, this is the most excited I've been for a main event since 2018. 4 long years since I've been this pumped for a fight, guys. I mean, it's going to be special. It's that event is special. That main event is special. There's just, and I talked about this in my video that I recently put out when I graded UFC 280. Let me know if you guys watched that. Let me know in the chat if you guys watched that. But that was such an incredible, that's such an incredible fight card. And I mean, you look it over. Let me pull up the Tapology right now because I put this in my title anyway, but I can't stop talking about it, really. I really can't. 280. Let's look it over real quick. Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, lightweight title. Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw, bantamweight title. Piotr Jan, Sean O'Malley, #1 contender fight in the bantamweight division. Benil Dariush, Mateus Gamrot, #1 contender fight in the lightweight division. Caitlin Chukagi and Manon Fuhrer, #1 contender fight in the women's flyweight division. Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady, contender fight within the welterweight division, 1 fight away from a potential title shot. Makhmed Muradov, Caio Barallo, amazing fight between 2 prospects. Muhammad Makhachev versus Malcolm Gordon. Really looking forward to that matchup. I did a breakdown and prediction of that fight. I wasn't planning on it, but I said, I'm starting really early. I'll start with that fight and work my way up. Volkan Ozdemir versus Nikita Krylov. Not great in terms of relevance, but it's still a savage matchup. Nurmagomedov versus Umagadziev. That's a great fight as well. That's a middleweight division. Armin Petrosian, AJ Dobson, Shamil. No, that fight's off. So yeah, it's a great fight card. The prelims are amazing. There's so many great fights on this card. And just the cherry on the top, Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. I've talked about it ad nauseum at this point, how excited I am for it. Stylistically, it's so intriguing because Oliveira's jiu-jitsu is so world-class and so dominant, and everyone has been scared to go to the ground with him to this point. Over the past few years, everyone has been terrified to go to the ground with Charles Oliveira. And Islam Makhachev is an amazing grappler himself, has amazing jiu-jitsu, has amazing wrestling, and his main goal is going to be to take Charles Oliveira to the ground. So it's going to be very interesting how it plays out. What is Charles Oliveira's game plan here? Because typically, he can always fall to his back as an emergency plan. If he gets rocked versus Islam, Islam will follow him to the ground and will attempt to finish him off. Islam's been so dominant, but against lesser competition, so there's still that question mark there. How good is Islam Makhachev really? So that's going to be answered because now you have Islam Makhachev, who's going from fighting less than stellar competition, and the best fighters he's fought have been on short notice, to fighting the best 155-pounder in the world, Charles Oliveira. And then you have the whole backstory of Khabib Nurmagomedov in the background, the former lightweight champion who never lost his belt, who retired with his title, in the corner of Islam Makhachev. So now we're getting a alternate universes Charles Oliveira versus Khabib Nurmagomedov, an alternate universes Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. There's nothing not to like about this fight. And then you're also curious, Islam is pretty good defensively on the feet. Oliveira's, aggression is unmatched in the lightweight division. The way that guy fights, he just had a teammate fight recently. We were calling him Mini Oliveira. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But the pressure he puts on guys, is he going to do that? Is he going to try to do that to Islam? Imagine Charles Oliveira just walking Islam Makhachev down, throwing combinations, throwing straight rights and left hooks and chopping the legs, and then they clinch up, and then Oliveira just starts kneeing the body brutally. I cannot wait for this fight. There's so many different... I'm trying to puzzle it in my mind how it's going to play out. And this is an incredible match. I can't wait to see what happens. Fact is going to be stranger than anything I could come up with. I can't wait to see how it plays out. I can't wait to see how each guy approaches it. Is Islam going to try to strike it all? Or the second he gets a chance, is he going to shoot in for a takedown? And then, is Oliveira really going to be okay with just falling to his back like he normally would? Because he normally be like, okay, take me down. That's fine. I like fighting off my back. But is he going to be a little bit worried about the top game of Makhachev? So it's going to be super interesting. I can't wait. And I've said this pretty much every live stream, every video I've talked about it. I cannot wait to see how they match up in the clinch. Because one of the most underrated part of Charles Oliveira's game is his nasty Muay Thai and his nasty clinch work and his knees to the body. And he's just incredible in the clinch. And people forget about that. And Islam is very good in the clinch as well, positionally, looking for takedowns, head position, just grinding on guys and looking to set up trips and looking to get to the back and drag you down. And I can't wait to see how they match up in the clinch. That's the number one thing I'm going to be watching out for. And if we don't get to see any clinch work, I'm going to be devastated. Because this fight is high level. Both guys are super high level everywhere you look. Everywhere you look, I think they match up. It's their toughest matchup for each other. Islam Makhachev, his toughest matchup is Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira's toughest matchup is Islam Makhachev. It's two very contrasting stylistic matchups. And we get to see how it finally plays out. And I think also, and I mentioned this before, this is Islam's biggest test of his career. We haven't seen him work his way up beating elite competition. It's not his fault because a lot of guys have pulled out and whatnot. but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we barely talked about the co-main event. Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw. The loser of this fight, as crazy as it sounds, is going to be in a horrific spot. If TJ loses, people are going to say, well, he lost to Sandhagen and he got gifted a win, and he lost to Sterling, and it was basically the EPO that built his entire career. His entire UFC legacy is on the line here. You know, a win here is not going to repair his tarnished legacy from PED use, but if he loses here, the story that's going to be written about TJ Dillashaw is it was all PEDs. He's getting older. TJ Dillashaw's getting up there in age. This is his one last shot. I don't believe he'll be fighting for the belt again after this if he loses, unless it's really controversial. And for Aljamain Sterling, he's one of the most disrespected champs out there. You know, he's one of the most disrespected champs out there. People still believe he's a paper champ. I'm even kind of like, about Aljamain Sterling. I actually hate both guys, to be honest. I don't hate them, but I hate TJ Dillashaw. I don't hate Aljamain. But I just hate the way he got the title in that initial fight. And if Aljo loses, people are going to say, oh, dude was just a paper champion. He'll never get that belt again. And I don't even think the UFC likes Aljamain Sterling, to be completely honest. So it's going to be super interesting. And the way they match up is if TJ Dillashaw can stuff the takedowns, it's going to be a tough night for Aljamain Sterling. And if Aljamain Sterling can get TJ Dillashaw down, it's going to be a tough night for TJ Dillashaw. So it's really striker versus grappler. Aljamain Sterling has some funky striking as well, but I just don't think it's going to be able to be competitive with the striking of TJ Dillashaw unless he has the threat of the takedown there, which if TJ gets confident and starts stuffing takedowns, you know, we're going to see that, you know, TJ is going to start opening up on the feet. And then it's going to be like a really tough night for Aljamain Sterling, and that's a super important fight. Petr Yan, Sean O'Malley, as far as non-title fights, does it get any better than that? Does it get any better? This is the bantamweight version of Khamzat Chimaev versus Leon Edwards. Sean O'Malley, untested, doesn't have a win over a fighter on the current UFC roster. And he is fighting number 1 ranked Petr Yan, former bantamweight champion, arguably still bantamweight champion. Huge fight for both guys. If Sean O'Malley loses and he doesn't have a great showing, and I know he's good at warping the narrative, but people are going to say he's a fraud, he doesn't belong. If Petr Yan loses, people are going to be just shook. He lost to a guy that's not even ranked in the top 10. And then the winner's fighting the winner of Sterling versus Dillashaw. Amazing matchup. Beneil Dariush, Mateusz Gamrot. Amazing lightweight matchup. I cannot wait for that fight. That's super underrated. I mean, Gamrot, even though I thought he lost to Sarukian, elite level fighter, great grappling, great transitions, ever-evolving striking. Beneil Dariush, underrated fighter. You know, doesn't have the greatest wins, but he's on a long win streak. Grappling is good. Striking is good. Power is good. He looks about 85 years old. He's coming off an injury. I think he's getting up there in age as well. I can't remember if he's actually old or he just looks old as shit. But it's a big fight for him. And in a Shark Tank division like the lightweight division, if you lose and you get a setback to a guy like Gamrot, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to make your way back to the top. So this is a massive fight. This is a massive opportunity for both guys. The winner should fight for the title, in my opinion. Amazing matchmaking there. Caitlin Chukagi and Manon Fiorot, still a good matchup. Manon Fiorot could be the girl to dethrone Valentina Shevchenko. She's looked very good. She's looked very impressive. Caitlin Chukagi is just beating everyone by decision. So can Manon Fiorot do what other people have not been able to do and defeat her? Then you have Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady on the prelims. Prediction will be coming out very, very soon. It's already recorded. It's already rendered. It's already edited. I mean, that's a quality fight. It's going to be a gritty fight. I'm not going to tell you who I'm predicting because that's a 50-50 fight. But my prediction video will be out soon on that. And then the prelims just look astounding, honestly. The prelims look astounding. I'm really looking forward to this card. I'm really looking to waking up, rolling out of bed in my Venom gear on that Saturday morning. I'm thinking about doing a full fight card stream. I'm really thinking about doing a full fight card stream for this card because that's how good this card is. What was that? Okay. Yeah, that's how great this fight card is, guys. So let me know in the chat. Do you want me to do a full UFC 280 fight card stream? I'm thinking about doing it, guys, because it's such an incredible fight card. I kind of want my reactions recorded, even though they're going to be embarrassing as hell. Okay. Haiti Shabazz, thank you for the $5 super chat. Still haven't heard your main card prediction. Congrats on all the subs. Appreciate you. Predictions will be out soon. The predictions will be out soon. I promise you that. I promise you that the predictions will be out soon. I like to watch all the recent fights before I do my prediction. I tell which ways I've been leaning. But I go back and watch their most recent fights, and then I decide, okay, who am I going with? How am I thinking this fight's going to play out? I already have 2 predictions recorded. They'll be coming out in the next couple of days. But probably I might release one tomorrow and one Friday, depending on what goes on in the MMA news world. But I'm planning on having every UFC 280 prediction video out by Tuesday. The latest, the main event prediction will be coming out is Tuesday. And I already have a bunch of content on the channel, guys. I already have a bunch of content. You look at the channel right now, I have a UFC 280 playlist. How good is UFC 280? Is it worth your money? That video's out. I have talking about Volkanovski stepping in as a backup. So that's on the playlist as well. Top 3 reasons I love UFC 280. Top reasons I hate UFC 280. Early prediction and breakdown of Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley from about a month ago or so, a month and a half ago. Best fight card ever. This is when it was talked about early of what the fight card may be, but it wasn't official yet. Early reaction and early prediction for Dariush versus Mateusz Gamrot. Petr Yan Sean O'Malley video, another one. And then I have a 15-minute video breaking down the importance of Oliveira versus Makhachev. This is 2 months ago. So, I got a lot of content already on the channel for UFC 280. So if you're looking for something to watch, you will be able to find it. Let's see. Okay. But yeah, guys, keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. I'm going to try to catch up to the chat now. We talked about 280 for a while. It's crazy. I'm telling you guys, you don't realize when you talk for this long, your mouth gets so dry. Okay, where were we at? If I missed your question, just throw it in the chat. I try to read most of them. I can't read every single one, but I try to read most of them. 2 months away from 282. Do you think it's going to be Colby Hamzat? Yes, I'm holding on to that one. Joey, how many buys do you think UFC 280 is going to do? I don't think it's going to be a lot because of the timing. So I'll say 500,000, which is a lot, but not for the card that's being put on. UFC has Barallo listed at 510. Yeah, I think they have a lot of stuff wrong with a lot of these tail of the tapes, but I just go off of them anyway, so it is what it is. Your thoughts on Magomed Ankalaev, 31-0 in MMA career at the age of 22? He's 7-0 professionally though. I'm very impressed with him. I did a prediction video because I do like watching him fight. I do think he's a potential big star. So I picked him out as like a random prelim that I did a prediction video on. That'll be out. That'll be the first one out. But I think he's a very good fighter, and I talk about it a lot in that video. I think he's a future contender in the flyweight division. Islam is so good, and Michael dominated Charles on the ground at the end of the first round. Yeah, but that was after he was rocked badly. Charles versus Islam is the fight where we're going to find out what ground discipline reigns supreme. Is it elite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or elite Russian wrestling top control? We will see. That we will. There's a good chance Islam completely dominates Charles for entertainment's sake. I hope it's a 5-round thriller. True. Charles will take down Islam. That would be crazy. Joey, what card is better, UFC 280 or 281? 280 for sure. Charles was putting dirty body work on Poirier. Yes, that's the other thing. Yeah, he goes to the body constantly. He will do the same to Islam if it stays on the feet. Islam will also wait till Charles is near the cage to go for a takedown. Yeah. Let's say Prime Cruz and Connor let's say Prime Cruz versus the Connor that beat Jose. Who wins? Prime Cruz is a different division, so Connor. I've been watching MMA for the last 2 years, and this is the most nervous excited I've been to watch a fight. I've been counting down the days for the last 2 weeks. I really think Charles gets it done. Yeah, I'm super hyped. This is the most excited I've been for years. Spot on. I'm not sure what that's about, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Speaking of TJ Aljo, how good is Aljo's catchphrase leading up to a fight? Skin the snake. I didn't even hear this, but it's okay. I mean, I think it's kind of corny. TJ isn't going to win. We'll see. I rewatched Yan versus Sterling 2 fight, and can't lie, Yan pretty clearly won the first round. I saw the fight is at 47-47. I don't think you give anyone a 10-8 round, so I think it was 3-2 Yan, but I haven't rewatched it just because I'm at a protest, honestly. I've been meaning to, but I just haven't done it. I'm going to rewatch it before I do my prediction for O'Malley versus Yan. Sterling has it easier now compared to dealing with Yan. Yeah, I think Yan beats him in a trilogy, by the way. What's up, Eddie? I thought O'Malley has a win over Holly and Paiva. Isn't he still on the UFC roster? I'm not sure that he is, but you might be right. He lost his fight after that. I think he got stopped in his next fight, so he might be cut. But you may be right. I may have misspoke there, and I'm glad you corrected me on it. If I am wrong, I'll have to look into that. Let's say Paul Felder fought Khabib instead of Ali Quinta. What would have happened, and would have Felder done better? No. Tuivasa versus Pavlovich prediction. I got Pavlovich. What was your first reaction to the counter bus incident? Did you feel like it was staged? Apparently the security people just... I didn't think it was staged. I just thought it was corny, but it sounded right on brand for Conor McGregor. I'm going to the theater for 280, but I'm still going to be in the chat or the Discord, whichever one you do, because I'll be alone. Dude, that's cool that you're going to go witness it in the theater. Hello, what's going on, imposter? UFC 282 card prediction main event. Colby Covington, Hamzat, co-main, Jan Ankalaev. Featured fight, Till versus Dreykus, main card, Rosenstrike, Dawkins. That sounds all about right. Most of the cards are already announced, honestly. How would Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins go? I think Bo Nickel would probably win. Does Jones beat Ngannou? If so, how does he get it done? By decision. I think Jones does win. I think Jones does beat Ngannou. The prelims could be a fight night card. Agreed. The prelims at 280 are better than Dern Xiaonan's entire card. Please like. Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, guys, run up the likes on the stream. I would greatly appreciate it if you like the stream. Also, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. We are officially... We're officially over a year and a half old. I wanted to make sure I was right. The channel is now over a year and a half old. We are chilling at 5,300, and it just changed actually, so someone must have subscribed who was in the chat. 5,337 subscribers. I'm shooting for the stars, and I have a bold goal of 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So essentially, I have like 2.5 months to get to 10,000 to essentially double my subs. There's a lot of big fight cards coming up. I got a lot of good content coming, so I think I can do it. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. But yeah, a year and a half, 5,337 isn't bad at all. Isn't bad at all. There's some people who would have to spend like at least $200 to get that type of sub count. So we are 100% genuine here. So, and you guys can tell. You guys can tell by the chats, by the views. The channel's doing very well. I mean, I remember when I used to be hyped to get over 100 views on the channel, guys. You go back and you look at some of my older videos. I mean, oh, I actually did. I'm looking at my channel right now. Let's go to oldest videos. 149 views, 56 views, 40 views, 46 views, 24 views, 40 views, 23 views, 33 views, 147 views. I remember I was hyped. I said 147 views. Hell yeah. 139 views on an hour stream. 49 views. 299 views. I couldn't believe when I got 299 views. 91 views. I mean, we're talking most of these are under 100 views. 40 views, 59 views, 116 views. I'm trying to think. My first big video was over 2,000 views, and it had to do with Hamzat Chimaev. And I was hyped. I remember I was hyped. So that just goes to show you how far the channel has come. Thoughts on a dangerous apex predator that was walking a line? It's all over social media. I saw it. I'm not a big fan because imagine an accident were to happen, I'd be pissed. Your prediction on Islam versus Hamzat and Bo Nickel versus Hamzat. I take Hamzat in both those. Sebastian says, finally catching a live stream, Joey. Do you think Oliveira's wrestling ability is enough to keep the fight standing? No. I think his jiu-jitsu threat, if anything, is enough to keep it standing. But I'm not sure. Who would you pick for Volk against Chandler? Probably Volk, honestly. Who would have won, Prime Barao or Prime Cruz? Prime Cruz, easily. How great would it be if Tito was in Jan's corner during the fight? That'd be hilarious. Do you think Oliveira will have any trouble making weight? I pray not. I'm not even going to question that. Words can't express how damn excited I am for 280. I'm pumped for 280. What was the co-main of UFC 246? 246 was Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler? No, that's not it. What was it was in January, but Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler was 257 exactly a year later. What was 246? I can't even remember the main for 246, and I feel like I just answered this one. 245 was Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington 1, and that was in December. What was 246? 246. I think it was Connor. So was it Connor versus Cowboy? I think it was Connor versus Cowboy, but what was the co-main event of that card? That card was garbage. Was it a women's fight? Damn it, that's pissing me off. I want to think of it. And I'm scared to look at the chat right now because I feel like you guys are going to answer it for me. 246. What was the co-main event of 246? I believe the main event was Connor Cowboy. 246. I'm puzzled. Let me go look. I'm looking it up now, just for full transparency. Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington. I was right. It was a women's fight. You know what's funny? For some reason, Raquel Pennington was popping into my mind. It was Connor Cowboy. Garbage main event. What's up? Olive's top 5. No, he's not. Connor Cowboy. The main is Connor Cowboy. Yes, I googled it. There you go. The co-main was Holly Holm versus Raquel Pennington. Raquel Pennington popped into my mind. What a garbage card that was, guys. So does Poirier, Chandler, Fiziev? Okay. People who talk shit about Islam don't realize that Charles fought Gordon, who was 1-2 in his last 3. Yeah, sure. No, it was not. Poirier versus Gamrot next if they both win their fights. Now, I want to see Gamrot fight for a title. I'm going to take a guess and say Pettis CDF. Was that on the card? That was on the card, but it was not the co-main event. Okay, co-main was definitely women's fight, yes. Where was I at? I remember telling you right away you would be successful. You were one of the most knowledgeable people that I know when it comes to this sport. Glad to be along for the ride, Joey. Thank you, Into Thin Air. Long-time subscriber, long-time supporter. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I will actually go look this up real quick. Let me go take a look. I can Google. Not Google. I'm stupid. I don't know why I said that. I can search and see when the first time you commented was. So let's see if I can find it. Let's see your name again. Into Thin Air with a 2. Let's see. It's loading. It just says 1 year ago. It doesn't say when exact date. That's annoying. But I can see what video it was on. So let's just make sure this is muted. When did I release this video? Let's see. You watched when you found the channel about a little bit out of a month after the channel started. You commented around, the video came out on May 9th. So within a couple of days of May 9th, you commented on the video. So I started the channel on April 1st. So bare minimum, the first month and a half of the channel into thin air found the channel. Appreciate you. French Fries is finally here. He KO'd Nasrat, 180s. Got a tough one. Co-main at 252. 252. 252. 252. For some reason, that one's escaping me. 251 was in July. 252 was in August. That was DC versus Stipe 3. And the co-main on that card, was it Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera, right? Was that the co-main? I feel like the sarcasm is what gave it away there. Yeah, Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera, easy. Easy. Sup VT, what's going on? I want to say Rob Cannoneer, 252. Yeah, 252 was easy. Can you check my first comment? Let me see if I can find it. Dude, I can't find it, dude. It disappeared somewhere along the line. I think Rafael Fiziev joke about Justin and Connor BJ was a great joke. Yes, it was. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. Yeah, no, I'm being sarcastic, but yes, it was. Yes, that was DC Stipe 3. 252 was the first event I watched, so I know this one. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. First event. Yeah, but O'Malley versus Tito was a very memorable co-main event. A very memorable co-main event. Let's see. All right, guys, keep filling the chat with questions. We're gonna talk about the Volkanovski super fight for a little bit. We're already at an hour. How does this time go by like this? I can't believe this. If you guys could see this graph I have of subscribers I'm looking at right now, it's wild. The real channel started to just, in the last like 6 months or so, straight up insane. I can't believe we're over 5,000, way over 5,000 now. I remember how hyped I was to get to 5,000. Now I'm dying to get to 10,000. It's on Discord. What are we talking about here? What do I think of the bout order? I think it's fine. I think it makes sense. I don't think this is right though. I think it'll change. I think Reyes Span's going to headline the prelims. Or Riddell Moicano will headline the prelims and Reyes Span will move to the main card. The UFC changes that up a million times over. So I don't think that's going to be the final bout order. So if Islam beats Oliveira and Gamrot beats Dariush, is that Islam's first title defense or should Chandler get the shot? No, Gamrot should get the shot or Volk. Is Jones taking the heavyweight belt in 2023? Yes. UFC 283 card prediction, Yuri Glover 2 main event, co-main Figgy Moreno 4, featured Whitaker Costa. Nope, I bet you Whitaker's going to fight at 284 in Perth. Craig Walker. I like the card. Seeing Sean lose was crazy. It was, yeah. My boy's brother had like $2,000 on Sean. Hilarious. If Volk did up beating Oliveira, where does that put him in terms of GOAT status? Right at the top. Tough night. I've been here since the beginning. I appreciate you live feeding. I appreciate you. I wouldn't mind Charles versus Volk, but Islam versus Volk sounds terrible. Yeah. I just never say much. I always listen when I clean my fish tanks. Appreciate you, man. Any support is appreciated. Watch time. I'm going to say this every live stream from here on out. The number one thing you guys can do to support the channel is watch the videos in their entirety. That helps promote me in the algorithm. Watch time is most important. So if you click on a video and you watch it all the way to the end, you're helping to support the channel. Obviously, just watching in general, liking the video and commenting on the video also helps it boost it. But YouTube favors most is watch time. So if you click on the video, watch it for 1 minute, and then leave, it's not as good as if you watch the entire video. But you guys have been watching the videos like crazy recently because everything's doing good. I mean, my most recent video, 3,000 views. The video before that, no, I'm skipping the prediction video. I'm not even counting that piece of shit. The video before that, 4,000 views. Video before that, 1,100 views. Video before that, 2,000 views. Video before that, almost 1,000. Video before that, 3,300. Video before that, almost 4,000. Video before that, 2,000. I remember I was hyped to get 100 views. And recently my average has been like 1,000 or so, but it's definitely increasing, and it's going, it keeps creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. If Volk did not, okay, read that. O'Malley had that undefeated merch he was still selling after the fight. Yeah, he's delusional. My dream is to go to a UFC fight in Los Angeles or Vegas one day. Yeah, that'll be awesome. 10 days till UFC 280. I know I'm stressed out about prediction videos, but I have 2 in the bank. I have 2 in the bank so far, so hopefully we will be good. Already got them all rendered out, titled. I transferred all my videos I have on my computer to my hard drive, to my external hard drive, filled it completely up, and then I did the new videos so I can easily find them without having to search for them too hard, because I had so many videos on my computer. So right now in my in the file my videos go to after I render them, I have Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady, and Islam Makhachev versus Malcolm Gordon predictions. So I'm going to upload those maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure when I'm going to release them. But they will be out rather soon. So let me check something out real quick. And then we're going to talk about Volkanovski stepping in for the super fight. Because I did a video about that. I did actually have 2 videos about that. And some people were calling me crazy, and I want to break it down for you guys, and you guys can let me know whether or not you think I'm crazy or not. Let's see. Let's make sure. Okay. The worst part about doing these long streams, is getting thirsty as hell the whole stream. All right. So, guys, while I talk about this, you can keep filling the chat with questions, and I'll get to them in a minute. We're already over an hour on the live chat. But do me a favor, if you haven't already, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Just maybe, I think it was last Wednesday, I did a double stream. So maybe, just maybe, if I have time tonight, I'll do another stream. Volkanovski as the backup for UFC 280. I do not want to see it. I'd rather them cancel the fight for multiple reasons. One, why should Volkanovski step in when you already got Gamrot or Dariush on the card? 2, Charles Oliveira versus Makhachev is a very important fight, and I don't feel like it should be risked for anything. I feel like if one of them were to need to pull out, reschedule the fight. Unless it's a major injury. If it's a major injury, which if it hasn't happened yet, pray to the MMA gods, it won't happen now. Unless it's a major injury, I don't think they should look for a replacement. I'd rather them cancel the fight, move TJ versus Aljo to the main event, reschedule Oliveira versus Makhachev for December, January, February, whatever it needs to be. I'd be heartbroken, don't get me wrong. But I'd much rather see that fight come to fruition. And I just can't imagine Volkanovski stepping in on short notice. It's not that I wouldn't love to see Volkanovski versus Oliveira or Volkanovski versus Islam. I don't think anybody, any of the 3 guys, any of the combination of the 3 guys should have to fight each other on short notice. I don't think Volk should have to fight Oliveira on short notice. I don't think Volk should have to fight Makhachev on short notice. I don't think Oliveira should have to fight Volk on short notice. I don't think Islam should have to fight Volk on short notice. It's just not fair. You know, so it's just, no matter what happens, let's say Makhachev pulls out, Volk steps in, and he finishes Oliveira. There's going to be an asterisk next to it. Oliveira's going to say, well, I was preparing for Makhachev, and then I got to fight pound for pound best in Alexander Volkanovski, the 145-pound champ, a totally different stylistic matchup. It's not fair. Same thing for Makhachev. If Oliveira pulls out, Volkanovski steps in, and Makhachev loses, he's going to say, you know, I was preparing for Charles Oliveira, and now I have to fight Volkanovski. Not fair. Then on top of that, you lose two big fights in a way, because I don't think Volkanovski should be a step in on 1 week's notice type of fighter. If Volkanovski's fighting for the lightweight title, this is a true super fight. A dominant champion moving up, trying to claim a second belt. Why should we not get a full build-up, full training camps for both guys, and not have some weird cloud looming over a potential second title win for Alexander Volkanovski? I think it's stupid. I think it's disrespectful to Gamrot and Dariush. But to be honest, I wouldn't even want Dariush or Gamrot to step in. Unless it's a major injury, I want to see Oliveira versus Makhachev, and I don't want any other fight in its place. Reschedule it. It would suck in the short term, but in the long term, it would be amazing. Then the winner of that fight can fight Volkanovski. I think that makes the most sense. Just because of the thing is, no matter who loses, there's going to be an asterisk next to the win, and it's going to suck. It's going to suck. And then, I hate to say this, but maybe the UFC said Volk will be a backup, and maybe Volk said he'll be a backup, but imagine if Makhachev or Oliveira don't want to fight Volk on short notice. If they then turn down the fight, their entire, brand is going to be trashed. Can you imagine if Oliveira pulled out and Volk stepped in and Makhachev said, nah, I'm not fighting him? Can you imagine what the UFC and Dana White and the fans would do to him, would criticize him to no end? And it'd be more than fair for him to turn that fight down. In my opinion, if I was a high-level fighter, these fights are of such consequence. And it's not like a video game where you can just hit rematch and play 2 minutes later. If you lose, there's a chance you never fight that guy again. And there's a chance it affects your entire career. So it's just I think it would be a massive debacle. I don't think we should be doing short notice fights, super fights. They're amazing matchups. I love the matchups in general. I love Volkanovski versus either one of these guys. I would watch it, but I don't want to see it as a last minute replacement. It's just not. I mean, that's some Family Dollar type shit. Okay. Where were we at? UFC 178. What about it? Main event. I think it was Demetrius versus Chris Carriasu. Co-main, Eddie Alvarez, Cowboy Cerrone. Featured fight on the main card, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. Dominic Cruz versus Takeo Mitsugaki was on the card. Amanda Nunes versus Kat Zingano was on the card. That was a solid card outside of the main event. I think they should have Conor lurking around Abu Dhabi in a yacht as the backup fighter. Yeah. Would you be mad if Islam won? No. Volk asked to be backup. I don't care what he asked for. Have you ever been to a live event? If so, which one? UFC 172, UFC 244, and then I also went to the Alistair Overeem, Jairzinho Rosenstrike card. Volk is a scary dude. Agreed. The fact Charles struggled to finish Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson makes me hesitant here. Yeah. If Benny loses, he should face Ismagulov Sarukian winner. Agreed. Fiziev versus winner of Dariush Gamrot. No. Fiziev versus Gaethje. Tony Ferg is hard to finish. Agreed. On the first day of my new job, I saw Anderson Silva sitting outside the restaurant talking on his cell phone. And the night before, I saw Chuck Liddell in the liquor store on the beach. That's awesome. How many fighters outside of Conor and John Jones make more than $3 million per fight? Probably not many. Only finished 3 times. Never before the Gaethje scrap. Yeah, Tony's hard to finish. Bro, Islam would never say that. You never know. Islam would beat Volk. In round 1. Yeah, I would favor Islam in the Volkanovski fight. I think Islam would beat Volk comfortably. Yeah, I would favor him as well. Everyone in this situation gets paid more money and is exciting to watch as a fan. Everyone in this situation gets paid more money. No, 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 no. I don't want to say it. It ruins the entire division. Like Islam would literally walk. No, I don't think that's the case. Yeah, we didn't need to we didn't need to time this out, dude. This was fine. This was fine. I mean, it's a stupid question, but we didn't need to time this out. But no big deal. It'll be all right. Billy. Cruz Rush Mitsugaki. I know that was a crazy finish. That was a crazy finish. I just attended my 35th UFC event earlier this year. That's crazy, dude. I wish I'd been to that many events. Which events have you been to? If Volk beat Islam or Charles and becomes champ, whether it's at 280 or not, I think he deserves to be GOAT contention. Volk beats Islam or Charles and becomes champ, whether it's 280 or not, I think he deserves to be GOAT contention. I agree. 100% I agree. UFC 280 or 281 better to you? I think 280 edges it, but they are two best UFC this year on paper. I would agree with you, but 280, yeah, definitely 280 is better. I like 280 much more. Who do you favor in Charles versus Volk? I actually favor, I mean, that's a 50-50 fight, honestly. That is a 50-50 fight. I flip back and forth. I could see either guy winning. I could actually see Oliveira chin and Volk somehow. But I'd probably, if I had to nail down an early prediction, I would say, I would probably say Volk. But that one's tough. I would have to think about that some more. I've been asked that a bunch of times. Who do you got, Arman or Demir? I lean Arman. Dariush Gamrot winner versus Poirier Chandler winner, and loser versus loser. Dariush Gamrot winner versus Poirier Chandler winner, and loser versus loser. Sign me up. I think it makes a lot of sense. UFC 280 on par with UFC 200 before Jones pulled out. I would agree with you on that one. Started with UFC 132 and then went on a roll, going to 3 to 5 events every year since. I went to both Conor and Nate fights, some other good ones, 199, 200, 245 this year, 270 and 274. That's awesome. That's awesome. I wish I went to that many events. I wish, dude. I hope to go to more events in the future. I'm hoping to go to one next year, actually. So it's gonna be weird. I'm gonna have to get like a mobile setup going so I can do a post fight in like the hotel room. Is Paddy elite? No, absolutely not. Is Paddy ducking? I think it's actually more the UFC ducking for him. They don't want him fighting. They don't want him losing so quickly. So they're going to match him up with favorable matchups, even though everyone under the sun is calling him out. So I was surprised to hear Justin say Charles has bricks in his hands considering who Justin fought. Charles' power seems up there. Yeah, Charles has nasty power, but also it doesn't help that he caught him right on the chin with a picture perfect right hand. What a beautiful right hand. Paddy scared of Chin Dober. Yeah, 280 was sold out first day. I even went to one at the Apex. They opened up a limited number of fans. It was Till vs. Brunson, where all the English fighters fought Paddy and Molly. That's awesome, dude. That must be a lot of fun going to all the events. I would love to go to a bunch of events. Do you believe Paddy in the slightest when he says people don't want to fight him? Absolutely not. Everybody wants to fight him. Everybody wants to fight him. So, do you see Robbie retiring if he loses his next fight? I doubt it, but I would hope he would. Bald Volk looks unbeatable. I favor him massively versus Islam or Charles. I think it's 50-50 versus Charles, but I think Islam's a bad matchup for him. I think Islam's too big and too strong for him. Who do you think's O'Malley's worst matchup? Petr Yan, probably. Or, depending on his grappling, could be Aljamain Sterling. Thoughts on Cub Swanson? Have someone speak for him at Media Day? I did not see that, so I don't have any thoughts. I like Paddy, but as soon as he fights a half-good striker like Taporia, I'm betting big for him to lose by KO. Yeah. Why is everyone so bitter about Olives walking the line? People find anything they hate on? I didn't know people were bitter about that. I had absolutely no idea that people were bitter about that. O'Malley's worst matchup is easily Merab. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it could be a grappler. Unlike people called Conor easy money, I feel like Paddy's actually easy money. A lot of these guys. Yeah, I think Paddy loses to a lot of the. I haven't seen anyone who said they think Paddy's elite. So it's actually sad. I mean, he's saying nobody wants to fight him. What a joke that is. What a joke that is. I mean, it's literally a joke. Where was I at here? Just make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, guys, keep throwing some questions in the chat. Keep throwing questions in the chat. Real quick, before I forget about it, we're going to talk about Jan Blachowicz. We're going to talk about Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. I believe it is on UFC 282. Let me Google that real quick. Ankalaev. I believe, yes, it's set for UFC 282. Let's look at UFC 282 Tapology. It has Yuri versus Glover, but that's not official. Jan Blachowicz, Magomed Ankalaev, Darren Till, Dricus Duplessis, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, Chris Dawkins, Alexander Gustafsson, Oven St. Preux, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Robbie Lawler, Edmund Shabazian versus Dalcha Lungimbula, Billy Quarantillo versus Alexander Hernandez, Eric Silva, TJ Brown, Chris Curtis, Joaquin Buckley. This is a solid card. Ronnie Lawrence, Cameron Saman, Jamie Pickett, Bo Nickel. This is a solid card. I love Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. I think it makes perfect sense. You look at the UFC rankings, they're number 2 and number 3, respectively. Do you remember when people thought that Ion Cutelaba was going to beat him? Ion Cutelaba isn't even in the rankings. Isn't that crazy? He's not even in the top 15. Magomed Ankalaev sitting at number 3 now. I think this fight makes perfect sense. If it wasn't Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz, I don't know. It would have probably been maybe Jamal Hill versus Jan Blachowicz, maybe. Something along those lines. But this is an amazing stylistic matchup. Jan Blachowicz is getting up there in age, though. Can he beat a young killer like Magomed Ankalaev, who's well-rounded, has good power, good striking, good grappling, good jiu-jitsu? He got clipped in the Thiago Santos fight, as in Ankalaev did. But I don't know if Blachowicz is going to be able to deal with the grappling of Ankalaev. I mean, look what Glover Teixeira did to him. Took him down and just bodied him on the ground. I think Ankalaev is a really good grappler, a really good wrestler, and I think he'll probably use the same game plan against Blachowicz. My early prediction is going to be Magomed Ankalaev. I just think the grappling is going to be too much for Blachowicz. Blachowicz is getting up there in age. You can only survive so long in this sport, and you're getting it up to an advanced age. You've been exposed on the ground by Glover Teixeira. I thought he was going to lose against Rakic. Rakic had a freak injury, but maybe Blachowicz caused it with the kicks and the checks. It's hard for me to think Blachowicz wins. He has to get a KO if he wants to win. So that's all. That's the only way I see Jan winning. I don't see him winning a decision. I don't see him winning any other way but KO. That's the only way Jan Blachowicz wins. Where Ankalaev can win by decision, I think he could TKO him on the ground. I think he could find a submission. I think there's plenty of ways that Magomed Ankalaev could find a win. So there you go. He's an L eater. What are we talking about there? In the thin air? By the way, I don't know if you heard me. You didn't respond in the chat, but I looked up your first comment was in like the first month and a couple weeks of the channel. Volk picks people apart. So smart. Do you enjoy watching Paddy fight? Yes, I do. I hate the UFC protects star fighters. I thought the best should be fighting the best. That is true. And they only can protect them for so long. How long have you had your beard? Basically since April 1st of 2022 or 2021. I used to shave it off all the time before I started the channel, but then it's like kind of became my you guys wouldn't recognize me without my beard, so then I stopped shaving it off. Is Gustafsson fighting? Yes, he's fighting OSP later this year. Cameron is good as fuck. Yes, okay. Seeing Yan lose to Glover, I get Ankalaev the edge. Hit, take, wish it was 5-round main event. Yeah, I kind of wish it was 5 rounds, but I don't think we're going to need 5 rounds. Ankalaev's decision win against Yan, probably. That's what I'd probably go with, but maybe a TKO ground and pound. I watched multiple fights of him, and his champion in the UFC looked unbeatable. Who are we talking about there? Ankalaev versus Santos was boring. It's crazy how Blachowicz went from champion to number 2 spot in 1 year. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you lose to Glover Teixeira. You pick Shavkat versus Magny. I pick Shavkat. I have a prediction on the channel. If you're asking for Shavkat versus Neal, I pick Shavkat as well. And I also have a prediction on the channel. Did you pick Oliveira over Kevin Lee? Yes, I did. I've picked Oliveira for a long time. I've been a big believer in Oliveira. I wish I had a channel to back it up. But I've always been a big believer in Oliveira. And I've been saying probably since... Let me go look up, when we're like fights for reference. But for a long time, I thought Charles Oliveira could be a champion. I've been a big believer in him probably since... Honestly, I thought he looked unbeatable even when he was fighting like terrible, not the greatest of competition. I would say I believed in Oliveira as a future title contender since about 2018 or so. Somewhere around there, maybe early 2019. So I've been a big believer in Oliveira for a long time. You can watch on the channel. I even talk about it in some of my first videos when I had no viewers. You can go back and look up my Oliveira versus Chandler prediction, where I said I believed in Oliveira for quite a while. I picked him in every fight since I had the channel since he fought. So you guys can kind of fact check it. But yeah, I believed in him for a long time. I don't remember. I could go so far back. I don't remember the last time. Like, I don't remember who I picked in against Clay Guida. I mean, that's 4 years ago at this point. But I picked him against Kevin Lee. I picked him against Tony Ferguson. I picked him against Michael Chandler. I picked him against Dustin Poirier. I picked him against Justin Gaethje. There's no way I didn't pick against Jared Gordon. You know what I mean? And Nick Lentz. So, and I don't know about any of these other ones. I don't even think I picked them necessarily. I just thought he was going to win. It's not like I'm making full card predictions when I didn't have a YouTube channel. So it's kind of like a weird gray area. Hey, Joey, if the UFC had no wrestlers, who do you think would be the champion of the top divisions? Like no Khabib, no Usman, no DC, etc. Geez, throwing out the tough questions, Sinister. No wrestlers. Petr Yan would be champion. Well, there's no Usman, so Leon Edwards would be champion, I guess. Adesanya would be champion. Yuri would be champion. I wouldn't consider him a wrestler. Francis. So really, the only division that has a wrestler as a champ right now, it would be Sterling. And without him, I think Petr Yan's the champ. So, it's kind of hard. It's kind of a weird question. But I hope I answered it for you. Guys, do me a favor. Like the stream. We got 40-some likes. We got 70 people in here. Like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe right this very second. Subscribe. The next 5 subscribers, you get a massive prize, okay? So go subscribe to the channel right this very second. Okay. Where was I at? Ankalaev is mostly picked on about him being boring. My biggest thing is the resume isn't that good. Okay. Just watch Sean Strickland's Food Truck Diaries. Let me tell you some crazy shit, okay? McGregor, every division. Sorry, Joe, my English is not perfect. My grammar, at least. No big deal. Yes, sir, I did hear that, man. I remember asking about your gear setup. You actually got me to buy a DSLR. That's crazy. Year went by fast. The joke was L Eater as in Paddy the Fatty. Oh, I see. I do remember you asked me about my gear now. I do remember that because you said it was like really good quality, right? And I told you exactly what I had. And I was just starting out, but I'd got a really nice setup to start out. I really wanted to take it seriously. And I'm kind of I'm a stickler for picture quality. And that's why I started the way I did. Because for me personally, I can't watch shit picture quality at all. Whether it's, YouTube or anywhere else. I can't watch bad picture quality. So how was I supposed to start with bad camera quality on my own YouTube channel and expect people to watch it? So that's why I started the way I did. And I think it's helped me vastly with my success, the picture quality. And then late last year, about a year ago now, I upgraded to my microphone. So I think it'll all pay off in the end. We're cruising up. We're cruising up. I hope everything has been good for you in the thin air. I hope everything's been good for you. And I appreciate your support. I really do. I know I say this all the time when someone says, oh, love the channel, wish you success. But I do appreciate the support. And I do remember you saying like something along the lines is like, oh, just keep working at it. I think you'll be good. You'll be doing good. So I do appreciate it, and I hope all is well with you. Thoughts on Ankalaev versus Jan? We just talked about it. I commented when you started. I don't remember. When you were talking about him called out elites by some people, it was a failed joke for sure. I understand what you mean now. Gamrot versus Poirier, your pick. I'd probably take Gamrot, but it's hard. That one's tough to pick. What fight did he go blonde? I don't remember. Second Nick Lentz fight, I was like, okay, Charles might be that guy. Yeah, I can't remember at what point I said, oh my God, I think he's a champion. But it's hard to, it's tough to say when it was. Gamrot versus Poirier would be fun, but their training partner is ATT. There you go. So it's probably never going to happen. Striking just looked good. My thing, and I've said this in every video that I've talked about Charles Oliveira, every time he came out, you would see a better version of Charles Oliveira, and that's what made me very high on him. So you got DuBronx over Islam. I'm leaning DuBronx, but there's a chance I may pick Islam. I favor Islam, but wouldn't be surprised either way. Close fight on paper. Got a feeling one of them might dominate the other. That's what we were talking about earlier in the stream. I said I think it's going to be a dominant win. Whoever wins is going to be a dominant win. I've been a big disbeliever in Olive, seeing how he walked down the most dangerous lightweight and Justin won me over. Yeah, a lot of people have been doubting the guy. I really feel Charles Islam is the new version of Habib Tony. Yeah, I said it's the better version of Tony Ferguson versus the family dollar version of Habib Nurmagomedov. Jiu-Jitsu rarely succeeds against elite Sambo dudes. Yeah, but what about striking? Elite striking. Francis will get dog walked by Gane in a kickboxing fight. No way he's champ without the crotch sniffing. Okay. How high are you on Bo? Him versus Chimaev, 1.5 years. Who do you got? Chimaev. He's beaten nothing but grocery store cashiers, so I'm not high on Bo at all. I think he can have some success. But people need to stop acting like NCAA wrestling is elite level MMA. It's not. It's not the same. There's no strikes thrown. Always answering proper. I hate the random thought. And I was like, well, fuck. Okay, no big deal. Tony, question mark. He got KO'd bad by Chandler. Lost to Charles. There's no Tony. It's Charles. Okay. What's going on, Joey? Would you pick a prime Tony to beat Charles? A prime Tony to beat prime Charles? No, because Tony, even in his prime, had horrible defensive wrestling. And that's why I said I never cried. I never cried about missing Habib versus Tony. Because Habib would have ragdolled Tony and beat the living shit out of Tony, even in his prime. Because Tony could never stop the takedown. So, always answering. Okay, read that. What's going on? Okay, read that. Moreno, Jan, Volkov, Fiziev, Leon Edwards, Izzy, Yan, and Gane for no cross-shifting champs, okay? Will you end up giving up on MMA once the Venom deal ends? Hopefully it never ends. I just hope for 4 or 5 round slobber knocker, okay? Prime Tony versus Charles, this would have been one for the ages. Yeah, it would have been much better, but I think Charles would have just out-grappled him. Tuivasa versus Pavlovich. I got Pavlovich. I think he KOs Tuivasa. In his prime, Tony had insane scrambles, though Charles' control isn't next level. Yeah, it'd have been fun for sure, but I would still favor Charles. It's hard to be taken seriously these days without looking pro, so it was a huge move on your part. Been busting my ass, man, editing every day. It will pay off for you, my friend. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And I hope it pays off for you as well. I wish everyone success. You know, people try to, you know, they get competitive kind of. I wish everyone success. So I think anyone can do it, honestly. I see you got 50,000 subscribers, my friend. 50,000 subscribers. That's pretty good. I just took a look. So hold on one second. Let's see. I see your last video is about Maryland. That's pretty interesting. Let's see. So you bought a DSLR. I know I asked you this before, but forgive me, I have a terrible memory. Do you ever plan on actually going on camera and talking? What's the DSLR for? And maybe I'm missing something because I'm just looking at one video, but I don't see you in the actual video. I feel like I've seen you before, but I don't remember for sure. But that's crazy. You got over 8 million views on the channel. 8 million views on the channel. But yeah, what's the point of the DSLR if I don't see you anywhere talking? I think you should try that, man. I think you should try talking head about the weather. Just my suggestion. I feel like, and this is my personal opinion based off the limited experience I have. The reason I wanted to show my face on camera is because I can't watch channels that you don't know who's behind the voice. I just can't do it. So I feel like when you show your face on camera, it's awkward as hell at first, and it's still kind of awkward. But you just got to get through it. And I feel like people, when you show your face, it's more personalized and people know who you are. People know what you look like. You'll get people who talk shit about you, but I mean, that's going to happen on the internet. You know, you can't mind that any. And I think, I mean, you can definitely be successful without showing your face on camera, but I think it's harder to be successful that way. So there you go. But just my thoughts. I could be totally wrong. Okay. So don't think of that as any criticism or anything, but I would just recommend it. That's just me as a YouTube consumer. Okay. I can't watch channels that's just images and stuff. I got to see somebody. I got to see the man behind the voice. Like I wonder where my channel would be at if I had all the same content, but I just had static images or just a little bit video here and there. Yours is a little bit different. Obviously, it's a different aspect. You're talking about weather and whatnot, but either way, best of luck to you. Who wins a 5-round fight, Poirier or Islam? I lean Islam by submission. Will Yuri versus Glover 2 be as exciting? No. And who will you pick? Probably Yuri. Bro, Islam is no Habib. 1, he's tasted defeat. 2, he's sloppy. I said Family Dollar version of Habib. Do you not get the joke? Yeah, these guys with combat sambo backgrounds have a good edge going into MMA because that's what combat sambo is, more or less, okay? Fiziev versus Islam or Charles. What shot you give Fiziev versus either? I'll take Fiziev in both. I think Fiziev would definitely beat Charles, but I think Islam will be tougher because of the takedown threat. Where Charles has a takedown threat, but it's not as dangerous. Who would Douglas Lima have been ranked in the UFC? Probably at some point. What action figure is in the green shorts? Green shorts? The only green shorts one isn't actually on camera, and it's over like here. I don't know where it's pointing right now, where I'm pointing at right now, actually. It's off camera, so let's see. This is Nick Diaz, but that's not green shorts. This is Mighty Mouse. This is Jorge Masvidal. This is Dustin Poirier. And then that's Habib Funko Pop right there. So the only one in green shorts actually isn't shown on camera right now, believe it or not. So, but there's your answer to your question anyway. Just with Islam fought top 3 prior to the title shot. I know, but it's not really his fault. Poirier dead in the water with these wrestlers, yeah. I would take Charles. He's bond savant, but Tony's athleticism and quick reaction-based chokes would spell trouble for Habib. Nah, man, do your thing. It's unique, and you're good at talking. It keeps people interested when you actually know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think that is one thing, you know, that has helped me is being a fan of the sport for so long. I know so many different intricacies about just the business itself and what the UFC is liable to do, and I can make good guesses on what they're going to, decide to do next. And it's just a knowledge that you can't necessarily have if you didn't watch for so many years. So I hope I give a unique perspective. I hope you guys enjoyed the information, because I can't look at my channel unbiasedly, so I don't know. For me, I'm like, this is kind of cringy and whatever, horrible or whatever. But I hope that people watch the channel and think, yeah, this guy knows what the hell he's talking about. That's what I hope. So, Islam top pressure is the only good thing for him. He's rarely throwing brutal ground and pound. Yeah, also Habib has better pressure. Yes, I do. I do film a lot of Sky stuff, but I'm starting on face streams. Okay, there you go. There you go. Let me know how it works out, man. I appreciate your support for a long time, and I'm wishing you the greatest success. Charles beats him on the feet, and if Islam shoots, Islam could get reversed, and Charles great subs from his back. Yeah, it's gonna be a super interesting matchup. How would Johnny Eblen do in the UFC? I think he would do all right, but he wouldn't be champ for sure. What if it's a Minecraft video? Then it probably works. What's everyone's thoughts on Prison Mike's freestyle? I have no idea. Shots at the Weasel? No. Eblen, I don't take shots at nobody. I don't need to. Eblen is good as F, but Whitaker would school him. Agreed. What's up, Jens? Some folks should avoid cameras, I guess. Agreed. And I've had my subs beg me to get on cam. I'm not worried about how I look or care about criticism, but it's a new world. It's going to happen, my man. I like how you were set up. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, don't worry about any of that stuff. I mean, you can't worry about weirdos online. If you worried about weirdos online and starting a YouTube channel, you'd never start a YouTube channel, honestly. If Charles wins, I think he's the best lightweight ever. I agree. Weasel MMA is quite successful. That he is. I'm talking about my personal taste as a consumer. I'm not talking about the effectiveness or non-effectiveness of it. Okay? I'm just talking about my taste as a consumer and then what I've done and what I think has helped me. I always think this channel has around 1 million subs and 10,000 channel views, road to 100K subs. Yeah, we're on the road to 10K subs, my friend. We are currently sitting at 5,342 subscribers. So, Joe, you should tweet more often. Your opinion matters. Do you follow me on Twitter? I try to be active on Twitter, but I forget about it sometimes. But yeah, go follow me on Twitter at MMAJoeyC, and Instagram is the same thing, at MMAJoeyC. Go follow me right this very second. I'm typing it in the chat. Boom. Go follow me right this very second. I'm gonna see if it pops up on my phone. Who's gonna go follow me on Twitter and Instagram right this very second? Well, actually, I don't think I get notifications from Twitter, so I'm not actually gonna say it. But yeah, go follow me, guys. I'm trying to be more active on Instagram and Twitter. I'm trying to grow both of them. I would love to get 1,000 followers on Twitter. I would love to get 1,000 followers on Instagram. That's one of my goals, one of my next goals, social media goals. But I try to tweet a lot of opinions. Let's see. Jackson and Frank, a.k.a. Big Bass 69, started following me. I love the 69 in the name. Hilarious. I'm being sarcastic, but still it is kind of funny. Where was I at? Looks like somebody else, too. The road to 1,000 Instagram followers. The road to 1,000 Instagram followers. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram this very second. That's why I started putting it in my my videos. I put the little graphic to follow me on Instagram and Twitter because I hate saying it, honestly. But I'm gonna get better. If I can get on the MMA YouTube space full time, you'll be seeing me tweet out my opinions on everything. So, where was I at? Mind Smash started to appear on camera well into its success and it completely ruined it for me. Can't watch it anymore. I don't even know who that is. But I'm sure there's different cases. You know, I was just giving my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's the blanket. It's not a blanket statement for everyone. Where was I at? Yeah, it looks like you guys are helping me. Let me see how many Instagram followers I have now, honestly. I have 209. So it's growing. It's growing. I'm gonna post something in the community tab for everyone to go follow me. Oh damn, you're pretty high on Fazeev. Cool. I think he's good, but not sure how good. I think I've been very high on Fazeev since I started the channel. I talk about this all the time, but one time somebody asked me, who's an unranked current fighter that you think could be a future champion? And my answer was Rafael Fazeev. That was before he was even ranked at lightweight. Who do you think is the next featherweight champion? I think Yair has good chance versus Volk if he trains his takedown defense. Yeah, I think Yair could win, but I think it's very unlikely. Volk would take him down and beat him up. So it's hard to say. Best chance to beat Volk, Mavsar. I think Islam is probably a better grappler than Khabib in terms of submissions. I don't know about that. If Dana had the option to turn every wrestler to strikers, he would do it. Would he do it? Probably. Is Conor getting a title shot first when he gets? Yes. Your channel was growing, bro. Was here around 1K. Good for you. Yeah. And now we're sitting at 5,342. Maybe 43 after I put this little graphic up on the screen. So, Yeah, the channel's doing well. I'm happy with where the channel's at. And, you know, do I want to grow it into something big and successful? Yes. But right now, I'm not focused on that. I'm not focused on, there's some people out there who will just make clickbait titles with bullshit, and then you get on the video and it's 15 minutes of talking in circles and not really saying anything. And the only reason they do that is they hope to garner views. But what that gets you is that gets you an audience that does not trust you. Okay? I'm just trying to enjoy myself, put out videos I believe that should be made, put out videos that I think you guys would be interested in, and hope for the channel to grow from there. Okay? Everyone wants clicks, everyone wants views, but I'm not going to try to force something, some bullshit, just to get a view, just to get a click. You can see my videos, you can see my titles, and you can trust them. You know what I mean? You know, okay, if Joey puts something out there, this is actually happening, this is realistic, this isn't just some bullshit, you know, to garner some attention. And that's what I try to do. So I hope you guys, when you guys see my videos, I hope you trust my videos that, okay, this is accurate information. Because there's a lot of phonies out there. There's a lot of phonies going on with fake information and just hypothetical fights that aren't even real. So, okay. A lot of MMA channels peak and stall if evolve into a cult type click. I have no idea. I don't know what you mean. You're gonna have to describe that a little bit more. Would you be Khabib versus Charles? Who do you pick? I would take Khabib. What is your favorite hypothetical match in modern UFC? Probably Charles versus Khabib. You're close to 1 million views, I think. I think last time I saw, I was like almost at 900,000. So it's got to be getting close. Let me take a look. Yeah, 1 million views is going to be a big achievement too. Yeah, right now it says I'm at 946,000. So in the next month, I'll hit 1 million views. That's huge. That is huge. Now I'm falling behind. I get your point on best lightweight ever. If Charles wins, but hard to beat an undefeated guy who never bled, knocked down, and barely lost rounds, Charles will only have Islam over Khabib in his wins. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you didn't bleed, if you didn't get knocked down. It matters of sustained dominance or sustained wins, you know, longevity, career longevity. Khabib was not around long enough that if Oliveira wins another 2 fights, I don't give a shit if he lost a fight in middle school, okay? I don't care if he got beat by Paul Felder back in 2017. You can get better, can you not? I'm sure, you know, one of these guys who considered one of the greatest of all time probably got beat up in middle school, probably got beat up in high school. Does that not make them the greatest fighter of all time? Because they grew into what they are today. And they had sustained dominance throughout their career. And they had career longevity. Look, I know John Jones is a kind of a bad example because he's on PEDs half the time and he's been out for a while. But look at the sustained dominance he had through multiple, you know, shifts of the dynamic of, you know, old veterans. And it's just gone through different, I forgot what the word is for it. But, you know, different levels of fighters throughout the light heavyweight division, different eras is what I'm looking for, actually. So I'm so tired of people saying Charles lost fights, so he can't be as good as Khabib, this and that. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I don't care that Khabib was undefeated. That's irrelevant. I don't care if he's 100-0. Okay? I can walk to the elementary school playground right now and I can go 29-0 right this very second. And I guarantee I don't get knocked down. I guarantee I don't bleed. Okay, does that make me the greatest fighter of all time? No, it does not. Khabib's resume up until the UFC was horrific, was garbage. I don't care about those, okay? Khabib is still one of the best lightweights of all time because of what he did in the UFC, okay? And to dominate Conor the way he did, to dominate Poirier the way he did, to dominate Gaethje the way he did. But at the end of the day, if Oliveira goes out there, beats all 3 of those guys outside of Conor, you know, and then, or beats 2 out of those 3 guys, and then beats Islam, who Khabib says is the best fighter he's ever seen, okay, then that puts him either on equal territory or a notch above. And then imagine Oliveira, imagine a world where Oliveira goes out there and starches Islam Makhachev, and then maybe Gamrot or Benil or maybe Volk or Fiziev. How can you deny him GOAT status at lightweight? I think it's the dumbest argument I've ever heard. And I'm a massive Khabib Nurmagomedov fan. I have a Khabib Nurmagomedov autograph hanging in my living room. Okay, after he defeated Conor, and Conor's just sitting up against the cage. If you're a member of the channel, I posted a video of it. I posted pictures of it in the Discord chat. I think I may even post it on the community tab on here for non-members. I love Khabib. I got his Funko Pop right here. Look, it's right hanging right there. I like Khabib. He was one of my favorite fighters to watch. I was depressed when he retired. Those early wins don't mean shit, and those early losses for Charles Oliveira when he was young don't mean shit. Are you not allowed to evolve and get better? Okay, so if he goes out there and starts his Islam, I think he's above. Khabib just barely, and one more win after that, it's unequivocally that Charles Oliveira is the lightweight GOAT. Do you actually enjoy women's MMA? Yes, I do. What do you do next to YouTube? What are you saying? What do you do next to YouTube? I have no idea. What's up, brother? What's going on? MMA experts, appreciate you stopping by. Hope you are doing well and wish you the best success, my friend. Just followed you on Instagram. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think a bunch of people just did. Let's see what we were at. Yeah, I think like 4 or 5 people did. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. He gives it to his girls. What else you think? Aha, I'm playing, bro. Joey the man. I don't even know what that's about. So, who did you pick? Islam versus Volk. Islam. Volk loses to both. And also, on top of this entire conversation about Khabib and Charles, I'd pick Khabib, prime Khabib, to smash Charles, okay? And I'm a huge Charles believer, so don't even think that. Joey, did you see when Islam's coach said that he's the only one to ever win rounds over Khabib in a sparring, which means Islam's grappling is elite if he can get rounds over Khabib? I mean, come on now. Per sources, coach of a certain fighter hypes up that fighter. I mean, I don't believe it. It could be real, it could not be. Of course they're gonna hype him up. None of my MMA friends are into social media app platforms, okay? I feel like a lot of people who are big MMA fans don't have a lot of other friends that watch MMA or as a hardcore fan. Of course, now YouTube chat jumps down 20 minutes. I'm falling behind, guys. I'm sorry. Who can beat Conor in the top 10? Everybody. Out of all the champs, who's going to stay champ the longest, also counting Charles Islam winner? Out of all the champs, who's going to stay the champ the longest? I will say Volkanovski. I think he'll have the longest total title reign. But that's kind of a cop-out because he already had a long total title reign. What's up? What's going on, Bernie? Yeah, of course, we trust you, brother. Appreciate it. Is Hooker versus Fungus on the next match to make? I don't need Ferguson. No, that they are. Hooker already has a fight against Claudio Plelis. Joe, I think you're right about Chael. Lots of garbage he talks sometimes. Yeah, that's all he does. In this corner, 6'3", 255 pounds. Yeah, sure. What do you think of Tony versus McGregor? I don't want to see it. I wanted to see it before Tony fought Nate. Tony looked terrible versus Nate. I don't ever want to see Tony fight again. Charles striking has greatly improved. Yes, it has. Paul Felder, not even that bad. Agreed. Ryan Garcia, Mike Tyson, I don't know what you're talking about. If Chad Mendes didn't retire when he did, do you think he'd be doing well at featherweight now? No, because he was getting older and he was using PEDs. If we deny Charles' losses, he didn't beat anyone that Khabib didn't beat. Besides, if he beats Islam, Khabib beat the same guys, the same fashion without taking damage at all. That's the difference. I don't care. A win's a win. A win is a win. You think it matters? You think people think about that in terms of like football and the greatest football teams of all time? Oh, this was a close game, but this one was a blowout. No, it doesn't matter. A win's a win. So, well, you can see how you want, but Khabib didn't beat 29 bums. Nobody said he did. That's a bit hyperbolic. I'm not even sure what that's about. He beat great fighters at the end too. He beat everyone Charles beat without taking any damage. Well, if you want to start arguing semantics, which I don't think really matters, Charles beat him faster. So, I'd argue if you knock down 100 grade schoolers, you be the GOAT. There you go. Yeah, but he destroyed 7 legit guys. Nobody's saying he didn't. Okay. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib is the most dominant champ by far. Like, dude barely lost 2 rounds. I don't even think he lost that 3rd round against Conor, to be honest. Dude never looked vulnerable. I don't think that comes into account. It's irrelevant. Unless you're making the argument that Charles lost certain fights that you think Khabib won, then it doesn't matter to me. A finish win is a finish win. Okay? Now, if we're splitting hairs and it's razor close and you want to say okay because of this, right now I say Khabib is the lightweight GOAT. All I'm saying is if Charles goes out there and defeats Islam, it's tied. If not, Charles is just a hair above him. And you can still make the debate, okay? Because when you get to starting to talking about the performances, that's when you're really splitting hairs. But what I'm saying is if Oliveira goes out there, starches Islam, and then let's say he fights Volk or Gamrot or Dariush and beats them, his all-time lightweight resume is better. I don't care that Khabib went 29-0 and didn't get touched. It doesn't matter to me. Dude never looked fun. Okay, read that. Who's the best MMA reporter? I don't know. Who do you think? What do you think in life next to making? What do you do in life next to making YouTube videos? Like you got a job or school or you go to besides YouTube? Of course, I have a full-time job. Charles didn't beat anyone that Khabib didn't. Besides if Charles beats Islam, exactly. The Tony Charles beat was not the real Tony. So who did Charles beat that Khabib didn't? Michael Chandler. Khabib would smash Islam. I agree. Well, I don't necessarily agree that he would smash Islam, but I would think Khabib is better than Islam. For me, Charles needs to beat Islam and then another contender to be 100% lightweight GOAT. I agree. I wish I had hardcore friends. That's why I'm here. I'm glad you're here. I got this one group of friends that I literally only see on pay-per-view night. Yeah, I know what you mean. Olive fought tougher competition than Khabib over respective careers. Yeah. Just take lightweight. Charles didn't beat anyone that Khabib didn't. Only difference is Khabib owned them without getting touched. Okay. You're literally arguing semantics right now. No one's disagreeing with you here. No more Tony Ferguson. Charles needs 3-4 more consecutive wins to the lightweight GOAT. No, he needs like one more after Islam. Who do you think in the top 15 that cannot I don't even know what that means. That gave me a brain aneurysm. Of course, if you destroy someone and you beat him in competitive win, the destruction is better. Of course, if you destroy someone and you beat him in a competitive win, the destruction is better. Of course. Again, you're just stating facts. I don't understand. You're stating facts as if we have a disagreement. What Bilal Brady prediction? I already recorded my video. It will be out soon, so I'm not even going to tell you. But you talk as if Charles beat someone at lightweight that Khabib didn't. I'm not. I'm not even going to respond anymore because I've already told you I believe Khabib is the current GOAT. I don't know if you're not listening. Khabib is the current GOAT. I think if Charles beats Islam, he will either surpass him or bare minimum it's equal. James, the problem is Khabib stopped early. If Khabib went longer on, then it would be no doubt. Exactly. So if you just, I'm not even reading, I don't care anymore. What do you see Fiziev end of 2023? Champion. Is 2016 Conor another mythical fighter? Yes. So who Charles beat that is good that Khabib didn't beat? Nobody said he didn't. I still think Khabib is lightweight GOAT. Okay. Looks like we're all in agreement. Islam not losing to Oliveira. Hate to break it to y'all, but Charles has already same amount of title defenses. Plus Khabib said Islam is best lightweight. And if Charles beats Islam, he's barely above the GOAT. One more win for the undisputed GOAT. There you go. Wow, Chandler would be eating alive by Khabib. Okay. It's about height you reach in your career. Anderson Silva lost 7 of his last 8, and he's still a middleweight GOAT. Agreed. Who in the top 15 can Conor still beat? Probably Tony Ferguson, and that's it. Charles will beat Mountain in... Okay. Would you say Khabib was greater lightweight than BJ Penn? Yes. I still see people debate that sometimes. I wasn't around for the BJ Penn era, but I've seen it. So it's different when you're not watching it live and experiencing it live. Who is Tap GOAT? I think Charles is going to beat Islam. Charles is the GOAT. The champ has a name, and it's Charles Oliveira. Let's do a poll real quick. Who is the lightweight GOAT? GOAT. And I'm going to say this. Look, I want you to listen. Oliveira with a win over Islam or Khabib? Because I think it's Oliveira if he beats Islam. Guys, do me a favor. Like the stream, like the stream, like the stream, like the stream, and subscribe to the channel. This is a 2-hour live chat. Usually I do like an hour and a half here. But go vote in the poll. Go vote in the poll. Go vote in the poll as well. Go vote in the poll. Looks like 75% going with Oliveira with a win over Islam. Yeah, because if Oliveira loses to Islam, it's not a debate anymore. So there you go. Looks like most people are rocking out with Oliveira with a win over Islam. 75% so far. Habib better than Penn. Yes, agreed. Does the lightweight and welterweight division piss you off? Lightweight doesn't. Welterweight does. Who do you see Fiziev matching up with against Gamrot or Sarukian? I love those fights. I'm really craving those fights. I love those matchups. I can't wait to see the lightweight division get some turnover in it. And it's going to be tough, Fiziev versus some elite grapplers. But he showed good takedown defense against RDA, and I think he can win those. I think he's the better striker, but it's all about his takedown defense, and I'm sure he's working on that. So last question is this on Habib. If you dominate someone for 3 rounds and then you stop him in the same, is it the same or better than if you struggle the first 2 rounds and stop him in the third? I'm not sure how is that relevant to the conversation, so I don't know. I mean, I think that's a pretty self-explanatory answer. I don't know. Olive has too many L's to ever be ranked above Habib. Absolutely not. That's irrelevant. I don't care if he lost 17 fights in a row at some point. You know, you can pick out a slot, you know, a section of a career and say, okay, at this point in time, he was the GOAT. I was watching Usman versus Leon first round the next day, and my friend spoiled the outcome. I would go crazy if I saw it live. That's so annoying that they spoiled it for you. Love the stream, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. It's mainly Chandler, Justin. It's mainly Chandler, Justin, and kind of Dustin that pissed me off when they don't want to face anyone except each other. Yeah. Anderson lost 7 of his last 8 and is still the middleweight GOAT. Yeah. I was high on Sarukian, but he didn't like his IQ in his last fight. Make me not sure about him to be champ. He's gonna be a top 10 guy, I think, even though I don't even think he's in the top 10 right now. But I don't know about champion. He's number 10 right now. Charles is much better striker than he used to be. Agreed. I mean, Charles Oliveira has been evolving for a long, long time. I mean, every fight out, he's looked better. Oh my, I'm seeing something on here right now. I just looked on Twitter. Nick Maximoff has stuff to get off his chest about bitch-made Khamzat Chimaev and Bo Nickel. Dude, you're going to embarrass yourself when you lose this Saturday. I mean, dude, just stop. Dude needs to stop talking. Maximov's gonna look so bad when he loses to Malkoon. Okay, where are we at here? We're gonna go for a look. We're gonna hit 2 hours and then probably get out of here. I got stuff I got to do. I was high on Saruk. Okay, read that. Charles read that. Oliveira loses were mostly at 45. He took risks Habib wouldn't in his early career. There you go. What do you mean, how is it relevant, the whole argument? I'm saying they both stopped the competition, but Habib doesn't get cuts. That makes him better. You say it doesn't matter. A win's a win. It's irrelevant. It's literally irrelevant. Because what I'm saying is if he beats Islam, he has a better overall resume. I don't care if every fight he struggled with, but he won. Okay? How long before the new generation of lightweight wipe out the old guys? Next 2 years, a lot of these guys will be gone. Next to Pereira and Whitaker, who is the next best to beat Izzy? Who's the next best to beat Izzy? I'm wondering about Nasruddin Imavov. I think he could pull something in the division. Thank you, Sebastian, for the $10 holla. Appreciate the content, Joey. Great takes and can't wait for 280 breakdowns, especially the Charles versus Islam breakdown. I'm 50-50 personally. Dude, I cannot wait to record it. I can't wait to put it out. I'm really excited. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the super chat. Sebastian 816. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for watching. You're the man. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm just giving you my honest opinions. What are the chances Oliveira grabs Islam next if he shoots a double? I think he could snatch it up. I could see that happening. Paddy versus Newsman or Magomedov prediction. Usman would win. I saw this dude saying that GSP wasn't the GOAT and Usman was because yeah, exactly. That's the dumbest argument. When Charles dyed his hair blonde, he got supercharged, the Venom gear added on top. Is Nate Diaz a journeyman? Yes. It's subjective since some people take domination into account and some people don't. What I'm saying, this is the last time I'm going to break it down. If you guys can't understand this, there's only a few of you in the chat that can't understand it. I just can't explain it to you any more clear. Okay? Khabib Nurmagomedov is the lightweight GOAT. Again, Khabib Nurmagomedov is the lightweight GOAT. If Charles Oliveira defeats Islam, I believe he's a smidge above Khabib Nurmagomedov in the lightweight GOAT conversation. If not, bare minimum, it's tied. Okay? It's tied. Because I believe Charles Oliveira's overall resume will be slightly better than Khabib Nurmagomedov's resume. Okay? If you want us to make the argument that it's tied, and you say, oh, both guys have the same exact resume, they fought the same fighters and everything, this and that, then you can start comparing performances. But what I'm saying is, if he beats Islam, I think his resume is slightly better. Therefore, I don't have to look into individual performances. If you can't comprehend that, I can't break it down for you any further, okay? I just can't do it. I've explained it multiple times. Apparently 70% of the chat agrees with me. But also, guess what? We're not talking about law here. We're not trying to make laws. We're just giving our opinions, okay? So you can have a right opinion and I can have a right opinion and we can debate it for fun. So guess what? You can go to sleep tonight and you can still be right and I can go to sleep. Well, not right, but you can have your opinion. And I can go to sleep tonight and I can still have my opinion. And everything's great. So there you go. I'm done talking about it. I think we broke it down pretty easily. Olive didn't win every fight. Khabib is more dominant in his fights. Charles has a better resume, but will be lightweight GOAT after he beats Islam. How hard is it to understand? There you go. Thank you, homework. Thank you. Oliveira facing adversity, still winning, is arguably more impressive than someone dominating a fight, in just my opinion. Exactly. I mean, the thing is, you can make the argument, but what I'm saying is, you can only look at performances when you think it's dead tied. And I believe it's no longer dead tied once he beats Islam. I think he's just slightly ahead of Khabib with a better resume, with a win over Islam. So, but you can make multiple different arguments. Daughter's doing homework. Wife's making lasagna. I'm listening to this live stream. Enjoy the little things. Hey, man, I'm glad to have you here. Cigar. I probably just butchered your name, but appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for watching the stream. I greatly appreciate you. Are you so excited for this one of the best UFC cards this weekend? It's okay. I mean, I'm not so excited for it. Everyone says Oliveira takes much more damage, but forget to say he inflicts. There you go. Joey getting angry. I've never gotten angry ever on my channel ever. Khabib 29-0. I feel like their legacy will be tied. I give up. Peace. If Islam gets caught on Oliveira's guillotine in the first round, I can't see him out from it. I think Islam will probably go to sleep. Joe, you're not crazy. Guru says the same thing. Okay, there you go. Again, it's an opinion. Anybody can have a different opinion. I'm just giving you my opinion. You're saying that it doesn't make sense when I'm trying to explain it to you. Charles is king. Khabib has never fought anyone who has been a hard stylistic matchup. Oliveira's fighting Islam, so if he wins, there's no doubt. There you go. No, I do not have Snapchat. I love how you broke it down. Really good breakdown. There you go. Maybe I'll make a video on that. That's a good idea for a video. You're right. I'm just low-key dumb as F and have a 10 IQ. You're right, Joey. How dare me have a different opinion. There you go, man. Breaking it down perfectly, CM. Khabib is a bum. I wouldn't go that far, okay? Do you think Tony would take number 3 best lightweight of all time after Khabib and Charles? Probably not. I would actually probably put somebody else up there instead. Maybe even Poirier has a good resume, but I'm just throwing that out there off the top of my head. We should be looking at title defenses. Nothing else. Khabib has 3. I don't necessarily think you should look directly at just at that. Charles, Brazilian king, owns Dagestanis. Okay. Do you think Oliveira can create scrambles? Yes. Joey, a lot of people are sleeping on Volk. I believe he's going to pull it off against the winner. The too small argument irrelevant from guys who don't speak for him. But, of course, how can he fare on the ground? It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. Novice striker Habib. So where's Tony in the lightweight GOAT? I don't know. I can't place all these in a list. Because title defenses when people are on their when people are on their primes, right? I don't even think that matters. I think just quality of competition and longevity. I think what's next if there's an injury early in next to the fight? I don't know, man. I'd cry. Me sobbing. So what happens if Islam absolutely destroys Charles? Then unequivocally, Habib is the GOAT still. There you go. I think people are upset because saying Oliveira is the GOAT means in their head that he would beat Habib, which isn't part of the conversation exactly. Where's Beneil in the GOAT list? I don't know. I have to give you the Beneil Dariush of every division. Do you think Khamzat is better wrestler than Islam? I mean, it's tough to say. I'm not like some wrestling expert, but I mean, I think he would out-wrestle Islam because of his sheer size and strength. Something along those lines. It's hard to say. We'll go for a little bit longer. This is a 2-hour live chat right now, guys. This is a 2-hour live chat. That's unreal. We usually go about an hour and 15, 2 hours, or an hour and 15, hour and a half. And we are over 2 hours. I think Volk's short stature can make it harder for him to submit him. Maybe. And also you got to think Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, look at the way he was able to get out of those Brian Ortega submissions, and they were very, very close. So, yeah. Who wins in the clinch? Which fight are you specifically talking about? Emmett versus Rodriguez. What about it? I favor Rodriguez. I can't believe Emmett even got the win over Calvin Kattar. That one still angers me for punching on forearms. Don't breathe. What are we talking? I don't even know what you're talking about there. I'm not sure. Ortega versus Makhachev. I take Makhachev all day. And I'm running. Oh, no, I still got a water here. All right, guys. We're going to only go for a little bit longer, a few more minutes, another couple minutes. If you have any more questions, throw them in the chat. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want to talk MMA 24/7, become a member. The link is down in the description. Members only Discord. We're messaging in there every single day, all day long about MMA. You can message me directly. I let you guys know when I'm doing random live streams and all that good stuff. So become a member. It's $3. You can arguably place Tony higher on the lightweight GOAT list than Habib because of how many quality wins he has. Thought he wasn't as dominant overall. I mean, you could make the case. I think you could make the case. But people wouldn't want to hear that, for sure. But I think you could make the case, but I would have to look deeper into their resumes. But Tony definitely is one of the greater lightweights of all time. I don't know where in the discussion he would be, but probably top 5 for sure. Do you bet on UFC? No. Who can Oliveira beat at welterweight? Probably no one. I think he'd be too undersized. Have you seen Stipe's recent IG post that Chael was actually right for once about him bulking? He looks solid. No, I did not. I did not see that. What are the odds for Charles versus Makhachev if it was in your hands? I don't know how they make odds, but I would go 50-50. I would go 50-50. I think either guy could win this fight, to be honest. It's a tough fight to pick. The elite level jiu-jitsu of both guys, the wrestling of Islam Makhachev, the jiu-jitsu of Islam Makhachev as well, the rapidly evolving game of Charles Oliveira, the clinch battle, everything is great. Everything is great. Joey, do you I've answered this 17 times this stream alone. No, I do not. I wish. That's why I need you guys to that's why I need you guys to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to. Where does Kevin Lee fit into all this? I don't know. Probably Conor McGregor is going to have Kevin Lee re-sign so he can fight him in his comeback fight. How does Gamrot Aljo Oliveira parlay sound? Gamrot Aljo Oliveira parlay sound. Sounds terrible. I'm confident that Aljo loses, okay? I think Aljo loses. How do you want Oliveira to win? I want him to make Islam quit via tapping to strikes. There's not a particular way. I just want whoever wins. I don't want it to be a controversial win. Here's how I see Charles can catch Islam with a KO or sub if he wins. If not, I see Islam dominate on the ground. That's pretty much the way I see it right now. I'm going to watch some recent fights. And I'm going to have a prediction out probably on Monday or Tuesday. I'm hoping to get it out on Monday. I'm already working on prediction, guys. I'm hard at work on predictions. That's what I'm going to do tonight. I feel like Islam's going to get caught in a guillotine after shooting a panic takedown. I could see that. That may very well be my prediction. I'm not sure yet. Would you give O'Malley a title shot or a rematch with Tito if he beats Jan? Title shot. I'd love to see the rematch with Tito for a #1 contender fight, though. That'd be a huge fight. So either one is fine for me. Okay, so for the poll, who is the lightweight GOAT? Oliveira, the lightweight GOAT. Oliveira with the win over Islam, 71%. Habib, 29%. So 71% agrees with me. There you go. The people have spoken. This is a pretty obvious fight that happened on 284, but thought on Whitaker versus Costa, most likely the co-main of the card. I think Costa can KO Rob. But other than that, I'm leaning Rob 3-round TKO. I'm leaning Rob 3rd round TKO. I'm leaning Rob via decision. I just read your answer again. I lean Rob by decision, but I think either guy can win that fight. What's next for Tito? Probably, I would say, what's next for Tito? Probably Corey Sandhagen. I had to think of it for a second. Sebastian, thank you for becoming a member. I greatly appreciate you. If you're on Discord, join the members Discord. I mean, it's worth every penny. Appreciate your support. We got extra live streams. I don't want to blow up my algorithm, so I put some live streams for members, only replays. You get badges next to your name, so you're more likely to get answered in the chat. You get custom emojis to use in the chat as well as the comments, all that good stuff. Appreciate you. And I post a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff in the Discord, and I try to remember to post it in the members community tab as well. So thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you, Sebastian. Tavares versus Bo Nickel, who wins? I don't know, man. Bo Nickel has fought nothing but bums. I'd probably go Tavares at this point in time because he has decent wrestling. If Charles wins, do you think he would agree to fight with Volk on UFC Perth? Yes. Charles is a savage. He would do anything. UFC should do away with pay-per-views already. That's how we can get more viewers and more mainstream. I don't think the UFC will ever get rid of pay-per-views, probably. I find that highly unlikely to happen. But I wish they would. But oh my God, can you imagine the amount of commercials we would get and ads? They would have to make up for it somewhere. My man said I'm loving this emoji. That's one of my favorites as well. I actually have that on a shirt. There's a link in the description if you want to buy a shirt. I'm not saying you do, but if you want this on a shirt, I have MMA Joey shirts that have that exact image on it. I wish I had it right here in front of me, but you can just check it out. Hold on, I'll put the link in the chat if anyone wants to look at it. I'll put the direct link to that exact thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh my goodness. Hold on one second. How did I forget the website that quick? Click here. Click here. Click here. View store. Let's go there. Make sure that comes up. Yeah, go look at this link real quick. Go look at that link. Crazy if Charles wants to accept Australia against Volk. He wins pretty crazy run if they would invade enemy territory 3 times straight. I wouldn't complain if he said no. Yeah, I think it would be crazy. It'd be great for his legacy. I already pack ads in between rounds of championship fights already, so might as well end pay-per-views. Yeah, but they already do it and they get away with it while still selling it on pay-per-view. So they would have to pack even more. I mean, the octagon would look just covered in ads. Just absolutely covered in ads. How far does RoboCop Rodriguez go? Top 15, I think. But probably not top 10. Nickel destroys Tavares. Okay. Is it possible Adesanya goes in Ngannou mode, prioritizing wrestling against Pereira? No, I doubt it. I am very doubtful in that one. So, yeah. So, guys, we went 2 hours and 15 minutes. I appreciate you guys. We've gone 2 hours and 15 minutes on the stream. I appreciate you guys for submitting questions, for watching. If anybody's watching this entire stream in the future, and it's not live, comment down below. Let's think. What can I say? What's unique? Comment down. If you're watching this in the future and you watch all the way to the very end, comment down below SpongeBob Popsicle. I want it in the comments. I'm not talking about the live chat. I'm talking about someone who may watch this in the future, okay? I want to know they watched it. They hear this keyword at the end, if they watch it all the way to the end. I'm curious who's the real OGs. So I appreciate you guys for watching the stream. Don't forget to like the stream before you go. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I appreciate every single one of you, and enjoy the rest of your night.